This is the Fans Across the Water podcast. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. This is the Fans Across the Water podcast, where we talk about the careers of the Beatles, Beatle by Beatle. My name is Mark Murphy, and today I am joined by the frog to my chorus. It's Marnix Westlink. How you doing, mate?
Well, Mark, I trust you wanted to be the first to know, but we got the tapes. No, I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I
Good.
I feel like I say this every episode, but it's always true. I'm not just saying it just for the sake of saying it. I'm really looking forward to talking about this era because, for me personally, at least, this era is all over the place. Some of this stuff is absolutely brilliant. Some of this stuff is absolutely terrible, and some of it makes me want to cry. Sometimes maybe both.
I was definitely entertained, and I had a lot of fun, and I was pretty annoyed, and everything in between.
Yeah, I feel like because I remember, for example, when we did John, we did talk about Sometime in New York City, but we had we had Plastic Ono Band and Imagine also in that episode, so it kind of really cushioned the blow. Whereas with this, I think we've got like one mediocre album and then one other album that's kind of just all over the place, and it's like good and bad and mediocre all at the same time.
We'll need to discuss this and see where we land.
100%. I'm really looking forward to it. So I think for those who don't know what they've clicked on for whatever reason, we are talking about the Paul McCartney
Welcome.
album. Yeah, welcome.
Please try and stick around.
It's worth it, I promise. So the albums that we're talking about today are the Paul McCartney solo albums from the mid-'80s. So the first one is Give My Regards to Broadstreet, which is the soundtrack also for the film from the same year. And then Press to Play from 1986. And these are two albums that are both critically bashed. I think... Yeah, Give My Regards to Broadstreet, just generally, I have never come across anyone who is ever like, oh, this is brilliant. Never, ever. Whereas Press to Play has a bit of a cult following, and it's got its fans. So I'm kind of curious to see where you fall into all of this, Marnix, because I feel like with Press to Play, I've got a very unique opinion on it, and I'm kind of curious to see where you fall on it, because I don't really know what you think of Press to Play. It's like
we've
talked about songs from it, but you've never really said to me like, I think this about Press to Play.
No, we've mostly saved it for the pod as we should. Yeah,
exactly. But I think what we'll do is before we get stuck in, we'll do, as always, a quick timeline run through. Just from the years 1984 all the way through to 1986, as it covers those years. I think that makes a bit of sense. So, January 1984, wow, it gets pretty juicy straight off the bat. So, I'll try and run through this little section of January quite quickly because it all kind of interlinks. January 15th, 1984, Paul and Linda are charged with drug possession in Barbados. And then the next day, so January 16th, they're then charged for drug possession in Barbados. And then January 17th, Linda is arrested for weed possession in London. And then January 24th, Linda is judged for weed possession in London. And then at the start of February, Paul has a portrait unveiled at the National Portrait Gallery. So that's it's quite the start to 1984. And then obviously because of that, the drug-related charges and stuff, that leads to the single of The Man, which we spoke about in the last episode. That being cancelled on February 13th, and the B-side to that was going to be Blackpool. And I think we'll talk about I wanted to talk about Blackpool in this episode because I think this is probably the best time to talk about it because it would have come out in this era.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'd never come across this until doing a bit of research. But basically, Paul films like a cameo for this One Love film by Bob Marley and the Wailers. It's like like a music video type thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't even know this existed. I didn't even know he did it.
Did you find it or?
Yeah, well, I saw like a picture of it. I saw like a little screen cap of it, and
Sure.
Paul, as ever, coming across as Caucasian as he ever does.
Ultra white.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Like double mayo, if that's even possible. I just remember seeing the screen cap of it and just being like, yeah, that looks about right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and then what's interesting is, and I feel like in the next episode we'll touch on this a bit more. But so in September and October of the same year, 1984, we get Paul records with David Foster. I Love This House, Lindiana, and We Got Married. So this is part of these bootlegs come out just after this era called Return to Pepperland.
Yeah.
So I think next episode we'll cover a bit of Return to Pepperland and maybe the Russian album as well, just as a nice little aside. I think that'll be fun.
I think so. It's like the bootleg is like a full album. Return
yeah,
to
basically. So that's,
and
I thought
not
that was
worth our time. I think
100%, and that's why I think it's worth covering and addressing here, because there is stuff from Return to Pepperland sessions that are recorded in this era.
Sure. Yeah.
And then in October 22nd, to be specific, we get the release of the Give My Regards to Broadstreet films. That's the world premiere. And then you get the album, well, the CD version comes out on that same day as well. But we don't get the LP until November, but I'll go a bit more into that when we get to the album.
Sure.
And then November 28th is when the film premieres in the UK. That film, we'll just say. I feel like at some point we'll actually review the film. We've both seen it, all 1 hour and 45 minutes of it, or however long it is. Because I think there's an interesting discussion to have about that film, because I think there was potential there and it's absolutely wasted. But yeah, regardless, we'll jump into 1985, January 2nd to be specific. And have you heard of an American TV show called Dallas?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, because it was very popular back in the day.
Sure.
It was people like in the UK watched it. I'm guessing maybe. Was it popular in the Netherlands, or was it just you have a good inside knowledge?
Sure, I've heard about it, but more through like American media, and it's really long running. I'm not sure it was really popular in Holland exactly. No.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of like local like soap operas, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, January 2nd, 1985, Paul actually rejects a cameo to be in the show, which I thought which kind of surprised me, because I thought that'd be right up his alley. Like he would be like, "Oh yeah, that'll be fun." And,
have we? Did we speak on his acting just in the last episode, or just together off mic?
Not really, not particularly. But I just feel like an acting.
I think we've discussed that. I think he's like I think we were talking off mic on about their performances in A Hard Day's Night, and we came to the conclusion that he's a pretty horrible actor, and we discussed the cameos as well.
Yeah, I've
like stuff like Pirates and
I've always thought he's better in like those kind of brief cameo roles. It's kind of Damage Limitation. I think in that, again, I've not seen that Pirates of the Caribbean film, but I've seen the scene that he's in, and I think he's fine. Like it's sort of light-hearted scene, like for what it is. Like it kind of works. And then with the Beatles films, like he's only a quarter of the main.
It's all right. Yeah, that's good.
And it works because he's with his friends, kind of. Mucking about, and they use. I think again, because you've got actual script writers and directors, they can kind of. But when he's kind of writing his own film and he's the main character, it just really doesn't work.
It's quite horrid.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So he skipped Dallas, and
Yeah, he did, and then also in that same month, we get the release of the Give My Regards to Broadstreet video game.
I read about this.
Yeah, it looks generally, from what I could find, it's not a very good game. Like the mechanics are pretty tough, and it just what I kind of do like in a weird way is it has like a kind of arcadey version of Band on the Run. Like that's cute.
Yeah, like
it loops the same thing over and over again.
Like a chiptune version. Yeah.
I would imagine it would drive you crazy if you play that game for like even an hour. But just the little, it's cute, it's fun. But yeah, I wouldn't want to hear it on repeat. Yeah. So I thought that was like worth noting. And then April 1985, we get the completion of Hog Hill Studio. So that gets a nice little nice little renovation finished up, which is good. And then July.
Yeah, and so this is also where later he's used this ever since, right? And I think
Yeah.
even like the Beatle reunion tracks were done there
Yep.
mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
There's
that's
a footage
pretty
of
cool.
stuff like Now and Then, all that stuff where you see in the anthology.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all there.
yeah,
Um,
really
so
cool.
pretty much, yeah, I think almost everything from this point onwards is pretty much done there. I mean, there'll be some, there's some other studios that he maybe works in for some other bits, but going forward, this is one of the main studios we're going to be hearing about.
Yeah, iconic. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And then July 13th, 1985, we get Live Aid.
yeah,
I feel like he's always kind of overshadowed in that. Well, he only does one song, which is Let It Be, but I always feel like
yeah,
he's really overshadowed because there's some other iconic performances. Mainly, I think Queen is the one that everyone talks about, and understandably
yeah,
so, because it's
yeah.
amazing. But yeah, McCartney does Let It Be.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't want him to do maybe like a little mini set, but he only does. Yeah, but I always found I don't know why that is, but I just found that interesting that
Yeah,
he
yeah,
only
of
does
course.
Let It
Yeah. Maybe it was just like he wasn't at the peak of his, because later he does stuff like the Super Bowl halftime show. So maybe it's just sort of like in between reappreciations and yeah.
Be. Yeah, exactly. And then August 10th, the same year, 1985.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson buys Northern Songs for £24.4 million. So they basically own the rights to all the Beatles tracks.
Sure, yeah.
What I found interesting as well, so this duo Charles Koppelman and Marty Bandier, or Bandier, my apologies, their bid was actually higher than Jackson.
It
It was
was.
30.5 million. Is the bid that they put in, but the reason why why Michael Jackson gets it is because his deal was just able to be completed quicker.
Oh, so
Like just
yeah.
business. I'm guessing just the business side of it and getting that all
Sure.
the I's dotted and all the T's crossed.
Yeah.
That got done. So that's how Michael Jackson acquired it. And I had no idea that these other two guys had put in a bigger bid,
Yeah.
and they ultimately missed out on it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is, and that I feel like that's, and there's the whole story as well. Of course, Paul said to Michael Jackson a few years before, oh, you really need to get into buying rights to music and stuff, music publishing, and then Paul, Michael said like, oh, I'm going to buy your stuff, and then Paul's like, oh
Yeah. Jokingly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think it was in a kind of after Jackson buys Northern Songs, they have a little girl is mine kind of conversation. Like, now listen here, Michael.
Yeah.
So May 26th, 1986, Paul gets inducted into the Guinness Records Hall of Fame. And then we just got a few more things here. So we've got the
Sure.
Prince's Trust All-Star Rock Concert
Oh yeah.
on June 20th. So he plays Get Back, Long Tall Sally, I Saw Her Standing There.
Yeah.
And then a few months later in September and October, we get some overdubs on the Cold Cuts
Cold
albums.
cuts, right?
So
Yeah.
it was gonna be a album of Paul unreleased tracks. I think because the record company it kind of been in the works for a while, because I know it goes back to Back to the Egg, when
Yeah.
record company Columbia were not happy with how that
Yeah.
album did, and
Yeah.
they'd already signed this multi-year deal, and it'd been in the works for a while, and it never got off the ground. Pardon the
Never
pun.
truly got realized, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
then finally we get on November 24th, 1986, Paul plays the Royal Variety Show, and he performs Only Love Remains.
Yeah.
So nice. That's cool that he does that track as well, because he could have easily
Yeah.
just been like, I'm going to do Hey Jude. Or,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he switched it up for once instead of playing the hits. Yeah. That's
Exactly.
good.
Exactly.
Yeah. To sort of have a small analysis of it, but lots of showing up for just being who he is, right? Like lots of these charities and stuff like that, So I don't know how much time that takes up in a famous person's life, but might inform some of what we are going to discuss, as well as filming a movie. Yeah, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. Don't you worry. But I think before we go into give my regards to Broadstreet quickly, we'll touch on Blackpool, because like I mentioned earlier, it was going to be the B-side to the Man single at the start of 1984. So I think that fits nicely in.
Yeah.
So we could quickly talk about it. So it was written it's a song that's written in the early 70s, and it's first demoed in Rude Studios in Scotland, and it's got. I remember listening to it earlier today. It was, it's got piano, acoustics, guitars, a lovely dog barking noise. Maybe could well have been Martha. I have no idea. And then it's recorded later in 1974 at Abbey Road, and for the One Hand Clapping album, with just Paul on vocals and guitar. And then there's also another recording during the Tug of War sessions from 1981. And that's basically all I've got on it. As well, he does. I know there's other performances where he does it. He does it in sound checks sometimes, and there's obviously the Chaos.
It's like one of those 2005 floating around in there. Yeah, I think. What do you think of the track?
I really like it. I especially like the One Hand Clapping version.
Yeah,
just a really awesome, chill back vibe, great acoustic track. I like it in that actually kind of acoustic medium. I feel I've heard that there's the 4-minute version where there's I mean it's still being demoed, but there's like guitars and drums and everything. And it just not quite there yet. But I like it as this kind of little acoustic track about a town in the Northwest. Yeah,
I think that's the best version, but I also understand why it never really got a proper release, because it's just like the vibe is is like in the time it was written as well, like you're saying, like the 70s. So to me, it also doesn't really fit anywhere. Like I couldn't imagine it being on like one of the albums we're going to discuss, or so I do get why it's sort of like been in purgatory all that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. The only argument I would make is just because fuck it, why not? You could maybe put this on Give My Regards to Broadstreet. Like, why not? Have a scene where Paul's like, just like make a scene just where he's like playing it, and it's I mean, that's actually a pretty good idea. That actually would have improved. It doesn't have to be one of these reworks where anyway. But speaking of Give My Regards to Broadstreet, I think we can actually get our teeth stuck into this album.
We're gonna have to. So let's just do it.
So it was recorded December 1982 to July 1984. There's recordings at Abbey Road, Air Studios, and CTS London. Produced by our good friend George Martin and released on October 22nd, 1984. Do you want me to run through how this album fared in terms of the charts? Because it's
please do.
It's very interesting. Like we said, its reputation is not very good, but people bought the album. It went to number 1 in the UK, 21 in the US, 4 in Norway and Spain, 24 in the Netherlands, 6 in Japan, 9 in Sweden, 23 in Canada, 25 in West Germany and New Zealand. So, despite what we think of this album, it sold. I mean, I think before we go into the tracks, I think my kind of overview on this from listening to it a few times over the last few weeks, it's just really mediocre.
Mediocre?
Yeah, that's what it is, really.
Okay, yeah.
There's some bad stuff in it, but I just think the album as a whole, I'm like, this is just like a really mediocre album. I think because we have such high standards for Paul, like this is, people would say this is bad. I think that's a fair assessment, but I also just think, just listening, I was like, this is actually just mostly a pretty mediocre album.
But for mediocre, would you say that it has like re-listen value to you, or?
It has re-listen in areas.
Okay, in certain individual songs.
Yeah, and it was interesting to go back to listen to this because, like I said, I don't normally go back to this, so it was kind of interesting to see like.
I don't ever go back to this.
Well, you had to for this one, buddy.
I had to.
Recording. But
So overall impressions, just to sort of like. I got really angry today, and it was like I think on my umpteenth listen. and I was listening to Paul's fucking half-assed vocals all over the place, and I was trying to make the argument. I'm like, we're going to talk about this tonight. So how do I sort of like objectively try to rate what's happening here? And I was sort of like telling myself, well, it's for a movie, and he has a sequence in which he's in the studio where he sort of like makes a medley of like Yesterday and Here, There and Everywhere. And I'm like, So given that it's for a movie, and then I thought, no, man, no, you're just sort of like defending it. Like this is really the worst. Like this is this is probably his Sometime in New York City. I'm not even, I was thinking like, I'd probably rather listen to anything else. Like probably I'd rather listen to like Liverpool Sound Collage or some other experimental shit than this. I'm like, especially now that we have like the singles box, because like the good tracks are on there. It's fine. Okay. So yeah. Sorry, I got a little bit heated there.
No, I like it. I a bit of fire in your belly. I like it. I still think we're still a way off his worst album, but we'll get there. But yeah, should we go straight?
I'm probably misremembering, but like right now in the moment, I'm like, dude, how fucking could you? This is. Sorry, I'm really angry because it's a lot of good. Okay, we need to get into this, but it's so many good songs. If this was a playlist of just these songs in the original versions, it would be pretty fucking good. But no, my man went into the studio and said, "You know what? I'm going to sing everything in my American voice and off key." And I'm gonna play nothing with any conviction. And I'm gonna make people pay for this. And I'm gonna make dance remixes of everything. Fuck off. Sorry.
No, I love it. This is setting the tone. It's not just gonna be me that's gonna get angry throughout the course of this episode, which is good.
All right.
I'm looking forward to this. So we kick off the album with No More Lonely Nights, it was released before the album came out, so September 4th, 1984.
Yeah.
And this did really well. It got to number 2 in the UK, 6 in the US, 4 in Nicaragua, a huge market. And then 33, I believe, in the Netherlands, single top 100. I had to double check the different charts. There's a couple of different like Dutch charts, so I had to make the right one. I think I got the right one. And you've got the play out version as the B-side. And then later Preston's got a special dance mix. So I know you'll be all about that. And this one is written specifically for the film. And I think McCartney initially wanted to try and come up with a working title, like a song that had, Give My Regards to Broadstreet like in the song, but he couldn't really make it work, and I don't really blame him. Before we get into more detail on it, what do you think of No More Lonely Nights?
Look, No More Lonely Nights, I mean, that's an amazing song. That's a banger. This is a power ballad, as it should be, as they should be written, as they should be sung, as they should be played. It's, I really like this. I maybe even love this song. This is like, it sounds effortless. It's good. It's like, this is like a whole different world from the rest of the album. So this is a great single, It's just, the only thing I would say is that, it's David Gilmour on guitar, right? So, for the solo. And I was listening to the solo again today because I've listened to this song a lot. Especially the last couple of days, and I would maybe, the solo is not like that super memorable to me. Like, it's very tasteful, it's nice, but I can't really sort of like, it's more atmospheric and vibey than like a certain, like, and maybe that's not really his style, but it would have sort of like lifted it up like half a star or half a point more even. But no, straight classic. This is probably one of his best songs of this whole period. So this is I love it. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, for me personally, this is one of my all-time favorite Paul McCartney songs. I can't lie.
There you go.
I think this is one of his best ballads, just period. Like, you want to take Ed Beatles, Wings, solo, Fireman, whatever. I know there's no ballad to the Fireman, but you take my point. Just all the stuff he's done. I think this is up there. Like, I think this is possibly in my top 10 favorite Paul McCartney songs. I think this is so.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's like you said, it's effortless, but in a way of like, oh yeah, this is so good. Not as in like tossed off.
No, there's some conviction in there. He sounds like he's having fun. It's produced very, very tastefully. It doesn't even, it's like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like 5 minutes.
Nope.
It's like, the replay value is very, very high. Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing.
it's one of those songs that my dad used the phrase to describe. It was this particular song actually as well. He said, "This is one
Yeah.
of those songs. It had to be written."
It sounds like it was already written or some sort of like pulled from the air, which he does, of course.
Someone
Yeah.
had to come up with. I always think of that. I always think "All You Need Is Love" is like that as well. It's like someone
Yeah.
had to write this, and they
It's sort
did.
of like it already existed.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think just to get a little bit of extra detail, we've got a nice Paul quote here where he talks about the experience with the song. So he says, "I wrote this song
Yeah.
specifically for a film that I also wrote. Give my regards to Broadstreet. The song did better than the film. Originally, the opening of the film was me walking around Broadstreet Station with some sound effects playing over the top, but I wanted to do a film tune, so I wrote this song to go with the music. I then later rearranged an up-tempo version so that when it played at the end there was a dance version." And then we got a nice quote from Gilmour as well, which I think it was nice to kind of talk about the experience because
Yeah.
even someone like him is in awe of Paul
Yeah.
and his approach to recording songs. So he says,
Sure, yeah.
"I found it quite amazing doing No More Lonely Nights with Paul McCartney. In one 3-hour session with a band, we learnt it and put it down, and Paul played a piano and sang the lead vocal live, and I put a guitar solo down. Bang." And it's
Amazing. Amazing. And a live in studio vocal, right? And then you hear the quality. I mean,
yeah,
that's Paul as we know him.
it's amazing. And Gilmour actually donates the money that he made from the session to a charity of his choosing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I just found it funny as well. So when they record the music video for this,
Yeah,
but it's at the not the scene in the film, but the actual music video because they are different.
yeah.
They film it at the Old Justice pub in Bermondsey, London, and basically because the shoot went on really late into the night, and there's like fireworks going off and everything, and it got a load of complaints from like local residents because they're like, "It's just being too loud." So that's a nice little.
Yeah.
Nice little story there. But yeah, I just think this is class, and I think this is unlike a lot of the songs on this album. I think like George Martin gives this song a real nice touch and
Oh,
gloss to
so
it.
it's-
It just
yeah.
makes it really classy, and I think it's
Really sounds amazing. Like you could test its stereo system with this, like people do with like Steely Dan, Aja. It's really produced really well. Yeah, this sounds really. I would use this to like calibrate speakers if I could. It's amazing.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Are you ready to hop into the next track?
No, but let's just do it.
Yeah, okay. So we've got Corridor Music / Good Day Sunshine, which it doesn't even make sense because Good Day Sunshine happens before Corridor
No,
Music.
but in my credits, Good Day Sunshine comes first
Yeah,
on that whole thing.
But either
Yeah.
way, we start off with Good Day Sunshine.
Yeah.
Obviously, we spoke about it on the Revolver episode, and Paul redoes it for the film.
No fucking reason at all.
Yeah, I
Ringo
really,
refused to play on this.
he refused to play on all the Beatles-related tracks.
That should tell you something.
I think of the covers or revisits.
Sorry, Mark. The most agreeable person in the world refused to play on this.
Sums it up, really, doesn't it?
Okay.
But
All right.
I
Quick,
just
keep it short. Keep it short.
But I think this is possibly one of the weakest revisits of any of the
All time.
it's basically it's super like squeaky clean, like they really 80s fight, so they basically just clean it all up, and it's so clean but not in a good way, and it just takes all the fun and joy out of the original.
It starts, he puts on his American accent, like I said before. It's so annoying. He does his own backing vocal, so the only thing I'm hearing is like, "Where's John? Where's George?" Because that happens, like the sense memory of hearing these chords in this song. Like, this is and it. I don't know why. And this is a total, like, if you listen to this, it's 2 minutes and 33 seconds of pure wasted time. And this is like, after such a strong start, this sort of like really tanks it straight away. And it's not going to get any better from here. So,
No, it's not. I mean, with Corridor Music, it's a very short little bit, but it's basically just McCartney playing electric guitar over a drum machine, and there's some brief samples of speech from the film. So the dialogue, for those interested, Paul says, "You don't think Harry would go and do a stupid thing like that, do you?" And Ringo goes, "Yes, yes, I do." And then Paul goes, "Ready to do one?" And then it goes into the little medley that we have next. And just to clarify who Harry is, he's Paul's friend who works for him, and he's accused of stealing the tapes because the tapes
in the movie, yeah.
Gripping story, I know. But yeah, and then we go into the medley, which is Yesterday, Here, There, and Everywhere, and Wanderlust. So I suppose we'll start with Yesterday because it's the first song in the medley. What do we think of this one?
Brother, I can't even. This is okay. Look, I'm so sorry, but he's desecrating his output, his songs. Like, I'm not. So Yesterday, you don't touch Yesterday, right? Just don't do it. You did it already. It was great. It's the most covered, best song, most classic shit in the world. Don't do it. The acoustic guitar sounds really lame. The sound of the guitar is not nice. It's not produced well at all. His vocal is weak. The Americanisms, the trumpet thing is like, okay, I'm doing it differently now. It's not interesting. And then to make things even worse, he sort of turns it into a medley, and he goes straight into Here, There, and Everywhere. And this, so he doesn't even really finish the song. It's keeps the trumpets, keeps his weak vocals, really weak McCartney vocals the whole time through. And then he goes straight into Wanderlust, which to me sounds like pure. I mean, he's playing guitar in it. The credits say he's playing guitar, but on the original Wanderlust, there's this big acoustic guitar coming in with like really filling the song out. And Ringo's drumming isn't even in time. I mean, you're a drummer. I mean, if you listen to like the original version and then this, it's sort of like he's late on every second snare beat or something. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. And this is like the medley from hell. This is this whole stretch from 3 to 4 to 5 is where my head literally exploded, and I'm very unhappy. And I don't know why we need to talk about this.
Because we do a podcast about the Beatles. That's why, mate. That's why we do it. I never thought I'd say this because it's not even like I'm in love with this medley. I'm going to defend it a little bit, like a little bit. I think I think in in the context of the film, I quite like the scene, and I think the performances of the Beatles tracks are fine. I like, at least with yesterday, and then Here, There, and Everywhere. At least he's trying to change it up a bit, and he's not just like, oh, I'm just gonna like redo the song like exactly like I did with the Beatles. I think that would have been even worse. I think these are like, serviceable, like kind of revisits. They're okay. I don't mind.
So why? Because I remember the scenes because of it's medley, because he's in the studio and just sticking everything together. But what is like the reason why he starts doing this at all in the film? I don't remember.
It's just part of part of it is just he's just got the schedule, and like one of the things is he's got it's really the storytelling in this film is fucking non-existent. But yeah.
So also in the film, there's no reason for this.
Well, he's just recording songs.
As in life.
Yeah, that's his job. Musicians, you've got to record songs. Again,
you have songs. You have the Pepperland songs. You have stuff to do.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think this whole album should have been completely just take off all the the covers and revisits and just actually add on songs that you wrote, and it actually would have been a lot better. But for what we've got, I think there's a lot worse on here than.
No, but why? But why, Mark? Why? Why, Mark? Why?
I don't know. I don't.
Why would you take the Beatles songs? You have a whole career. You've done like Band on the Run and whatever, and then just to draw attention to your movie or something, you write No More Lonely Nights. You write a classic power ballad, right? This is your lead single. Why do you feel the need to and then also, I mean, Yesterday and Here, There, and Everywhere are sort of like love songs. But then Wanderlust, I don't even. I'm not. I'm trying not to be a hater.
Again, I don't. I don't. Again, I completely don't understand like the whole film and just think this whole project's a mess. But I just think this is. We get to a much worse and confusing stuff in this. I think the whole thing of this album, as to why, I have no idea. I don't understand it. But I think we're.
But it's not a good. Did you have a good time listening to these 3 songs in a row?
I think it flows actually decently. Again, it's like
No. I'm not. I'm
okay.
just. Did you have a good time? Did you enjoy yourself? Did it make you happy?
In a way, just because it's like, oh, it's the Beatles. I like these songs, just not these versions. But they're not like terrible. They're mediocre. This is. What
It's Paul McCartney. I'm glad.
This is what I'm saying. Like this is really mediocre. That's what it is.
Okay, but it didn't make you angry.
No, you listen to it, you're like, oh, yeah, this is.
It didn't make you defeated, or
No, not yet, not yet. But I do think that that whole scene of this medley, it's one of the better scenes in the. I think in general, I enjoy the music scenes from the film, just because even if the versions of the songs aren't great, like there's some cool visuals. Like even I know it's just Paul and Ringo and stuff in the studio, it's still just nice to see, even if they're playing like okay, like versions of songs that have ways that are way superior. Like
it's the thing is, it's so unnecessary.
Oh, it is.
That's just irks me to no end. It's really, and it really does a disservice to like the original recordings. And yeah, it's just let's move on.
Yeah,
let's go.
The one thing that really confused me more than Here, There, and Everywhere and Yesterday being recorded is I'm more confused as to why he revisits quite a few like recent songs. Like, why are we getting one?
Yeah, so here we go. That's the next one, right? Okay.
Why are we
next
getting
track
Wanderlust again? Why are we getting Ballroom Dancing again? Why are we getting So Bad again? That's what kind of confuses me more than I don't agree with it, but I see the logic in I'll revisit some Beatles songs, But with the songs that came out within the last 2 years, I'm like, why? What's the point?
There you go. So Ballroom Dancing. Why do you re-record Ballroom Dancing? What does this version bring?
The only thing that I kind of, when I hear this, and I'm like, oh, this is cool and interesting, is like the guitar solo, but it doesn't like on its own. It's a cool guitar solo, but it feels a bit weird in the song. It's
really weird in the song.
But it's a cool solo,
and also his ad-libs. He does it like some come on guys, or come on boys.
That's it, kids.
He does these weird little ad-libs and he adds them.
Well, he changes one of the lyrics as well.
Yeah, what was it again?
He changes it to, well, the kids have flown to a better life, and the boy's a man and the girl's a wife, and the summertime never seems to last when you're riding on a rocket. Okay? Wow.
Thanks, Paul.
But again, like in the film at least, the actual like scene, I think is pretty cool. Like it's a cool visual, and like there's all this stuff going on. It's like they're filming.
But you could use
of a scene.
You could use the original track.
I agree.
You actually could do that.
I completely agree. I'm not.
So,
yeah.
And it sounds so similar to the original, but also so much worse. I don't know how he did that. How can you make something sound so much the same, but also really bad?
He just makes it more like rocky, and he takes out some of that, like, which I think for a song called Ballroom Dancing, I don't really need this to be like harder on the rock side of things, and I don't. Yeah, I've always been really confused by this revisit, and I don't see the point, and I don't really like it.
No, me neither.
Like, this is bad. Like this annoyed and confused me more than the medley.
More than the previous medley.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, silly love songs, number 7. We're in the swamp now. This is deep in the dirt.
I think this is like potentially my least favorite thing on this album.
This is 5 minutes and 27 seconds
with the reprise, right?
Yeah, but of course. But that's when you turn this on. and keep it
Yeah.
running.
Yeah, I mean, where to start with this? I mean, firstly,
This is recorded with half of Toto.
yeah, you got Louis Johnson on the slap bass. So he's playing the Paul bass line that he played like on,
Yeah.
back on Wings at the Speed of Sound. Why not just get Paul on the slap bass?
Yeah,
I mean,
because he doesn't really add anything to it.
I would say, don't fucking do this. Don't put a fucking slap bass on silly
Yeah.
love songs. But if you're if you have to do it, why not have?
Yeah.
It's Paul's bass line. Why doesn't he do it? Why have we got have someone else do it?
I don't know. And then you get Steve Lukather on guitar
Yeah.
of Toto fame. Jeff Porcaro, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Sorry, Jeff, on drums, also of Toto.
Yep.
I couldn't tell. And Toto has some bangers, to be honest.
No, Toto are great, but this is a complete waste of some really talented musicians. I just think this version sucks the life out of the original. Like,
It's very, very, very bad.
like
Very
how
bad.
in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, how like the Dementors can suck the soul out
You
of
mean-
people.
Yeah.
This is what has happened to Silly Love. Like this version is like a Dementor has got Silly Love.
This is Dementor.
All the
Yeah.
life and soul out of it. And also one thing I noticed when listening to it, that
Yeah.
like, lyric soundscape when it goes like, "How can I tell you about?"
Yeah,
it?"
yeah.
God, Denny's really missing them.
He's really missing. Yeah,
It just doesn't feel right. Like you've got Paul and
Yeah.
Linda doing it, and then they add in
Yeah.
another vocalist, and it just you're like, God,
Yeah.
God, yeah, like Denny's a really big part.
That's
of
probably
this.
Steve Lukather because he's credited on
Yeah.
vocals as well. So, but yeah,
But
not my jam.
Paul, and yeah, the reprise is just kind of like this kind of humming
Yeah,
type thing, and it's also pretty rubbish. But that ends side one.
that ends side one, right? So
Thank God. Thank God. And then you know what? So then we get another. Well, it's not really a reprise, but it's like in the context of the film, we get a run of
Yeah.
Paul and the band playing some of these songs, and
Yeah.
I think it might be the best scene in the whole film. Again, not saying much, but I like
not
the
just
band.
band interaction.
I like
yeah.
the band lineup. For the most part, like the stuff they play here, and they kick off with "Not Such a Bad Boy."
Not such a bad boy.
Yeah, so I'll just run through the lineup quickly because it's a good lineup. So you got obviously Paul,
Good.
Linda on keyboards, Dave Edmunds and Chris Spedding on guitars,
Yeah.
and then Ringo on drums. And
Yeah.
Not Such a Bad Boy almost didn't make the film.
Yeah,
Ringo
but
and Linda went to bat for this, and they tried it out with the director Peter Webb, and he was like, "Yeah, like this is a good idea." And yeah, I think again, there's 3 new songs. Well, technically 4 if you want to include "Goodnight Princess," but I think this is actually really good.
This ranks pretty high. It's sort of like so we'll get into No Values is coming up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But just on Not Such a Bad Boy, I like the vocal, I like the playing, I like listening to it today, I was like, all right, this is sort of like Billy Joel's area, just sort of in the like the chorus and the way he delivers the song. But that's fine because Billy Joel is influenced by Paul a great deal. So yeah, this is a great song, and this is like one of the only reasons like this song is on a playlist. I won't put it on the album, but I will replay this song. And there are some other Paul album tracks which, I'm not really that interested. But this is so much fun. This is really good, and the is it the scene in the movie or anywhere? There's a video of them playing this, I think.
Yeah, they're in like a warehouse.
Yeah, in the warehouse.
That's in
It's
the
really
film.
cool.
Yeah,
Doesn't he have like a leather jacket or something? It's like really.
proper
It
dad,
looks cool.
proper cool dad.
It looks cool, Dad.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's
like,
Dad.
I'm
It's cool.
identifying. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm not embarrassed listening to this.
Good. I assume this song is about the Harry character. Like it's playing off the fact that he's he used to be a criminal and probably didn't do well in school, and again don't really care. But the song's great, and so what's interesting is the vinyl edition of "Give My Regards to Broadstreet" it contains an edit of the song. So it's like
Of this
10
one, yeah.
So it's 10 seconds less than the CD and cassette version, because the LP emits so bad, and then
Yeah.
crossfade, because
Good decision. Yeah.
it crossfades into No Values. I like the bit at the beginning as well, where Paul's like, "Oh yeah, so should we try Not Such a Bad Boy?" And then Ringo's like, "Do we have to?" And then Paul goes, "Yeah."
Yeah. No, that's fun. Like all the interaction, stuff like that, you know. All right. Great track, recommend.
Recommend.
Then another remake.
Does this get you really angry? Because for me, I'm like, this is unlike the other ones. This is like really cut and paste. It's so similar. You're like, why is this here? You could have put on
It's
the Pipes of
also
Peace
with
version.
Eric Stewart. Is Ringo also? Ringo's also in the original, right?
Yep, yeah, Ringo's on.
So
drums.
this is like like this doesn't. It's so much not there that I can't really even sort of think about it. And I was listening earlier, thinking, so is there something in this version which might be sort of like interesting or make me even prefer it? Sometimes re-recording is nice, usually not. But this was just so not there at all that it sort of just like went in one ear and out the other, and pure filler, not necessary at all. But at least he didn't touch like a Stone Cold classic, like, you know, Here, There, and Everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we could have filled this spot with, but maybe I need to rework. Maybe I'm amazed. Yeah, that was great. Oh God, yeah.
Maybe
just,
add some synthesizers.
yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I get slap bass on there. Come on.
So, you know, it's fine. By this point, you know, the thing is, most of my energy and annoyance goes into like the first stretch, you know, right going from Good Day Sunshine into Yesterday, like really crushing my soul. And then, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry. And then Not Such a Bad Boy, really, you know, that lifts the mood. I'm like,
Really
yeah,
does.
man, okay, this is, I'll be glad with anything I get by. I'm like, you know, in the desert, dried out and finding an oasis, you know, it's like, my God, water. So of course it tastes good. And then, you know, So Bad, I'm like, you know, this at least doesn't offend me too much. So I can survive a little bit longer. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I to be honest, it's just for me. This is kind of, I'm again. It's so similar. So Bad is so similar to its previous version. It is also you are just like, what is the point? But it's not
Pointless.
But it's to that. But it's because it's so similar. It doesn't really get much of a reaction out of me.
Yeah.
So you're like,
That's
okay,
well put.
fine. Like this is one of the better revisits, but because Paul plays it really safe.
Yeah. You can't really, you know, like fuck up if it's like in a photocopier. But it is like, that's exactly it. If you photocopy something, like, for example, if it's like on like maybe like weighted paper, like real quality shit, you know, and then, you know, and it's like like pen and ink drawing and whatever. And it's like really, okay, so I'm going to copy this so you can have a copy as well. Put it in a photocopier. It comes out on like just regular A4 printer paper, right? And it's like ink, and it's like the definition is not really there. And if you do like this, you're like, oh, yeah, that's the same. But then when you open your eyes, you're like, no, it's not. It's worse. It's like a weak copy, but it's not too different. And then like Yesterday and Here, There, and Everywhere in Wanderlust is like if you would set the printer on fire while copying. And, you know, and then the charred remains are nothing like the original at all. So...
I love how in this episode we've managed to also bring in Harry Potter and photocopying machines into our dissection of Give My Regards to Broadstreet. You'll only find it on this podcast, everyone.
yeah.
But yeah, should we?
Please, let's move on.
Should we talk about No Values?
Yes.
So this one was actually rehearsed by Wings in 1980 with unfinished lyrics, and then recorded again during the Tug of War sessions in 1981. And then we get the video. We get this recorded in 1982, December to be specific. Same lineup as before. I get, aside from No More Lonely Nights, this is my favorite thing on the album. This is fucking awesome. This is getting my
I'm
own
with
great
you,
stamp.
man. I prefer this one above Not Such a Bad Boy.
Agreed.
I think the lyrics are good. I think there's more depth to this song, more layers. You know, it's a lot to get here. I think the band performance is really good. It's like this is also in the warehouse, right?
Yeah, this is the last
So
warehouse.
that's just like it's to me. This is totally separate from all the other bullshit. So this is, yeah, I think this is really cool. And then when you just said like they rehearsed this earlier, the wing sound is really prevalent in this as well. I can really hear the remains of that in sort of like the use of the chords and the sort of like power pop rock feel that they bring. So yeah, this is great and really worth either revisiting or visiting if you're not familiar with this track. So Paul thumbs up.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like again, this is one of the songs where I feel like it's always good to because I hadn't really listened to this song in a while, and it's like this
Yeah.
and this. I mean, I admittedly listened to No More Lonely Nights a lot in my spare time.
Of course,
Whereas,
I mean, but it's easily accessible as well, like
yeah,
on the
well,
singles and on
whereas
compilations and stuff like that. Yeah,
not such a bad boy and no values. It was kind of like, you know, when you bump into someone who you were tight with at school, but you were never in the same friendship group. But you're always like, oh, I like that guy, he's cool. And then like
yeah,
you meet them again, and you're like, oh yeah, I like that guy, he's really cool. Actually, I should hang
yeah.
out with him more.
Pretty
That's what I
good.
felt with Not Such a Bad Boy and No Values. I was like, I like these guys. I should listen to their
Yeah,
songs more because they're actually really good.
yeah. I feel that. That's really good. Yeah.
Good songs. But and then we're back to the Beatles revisits, baby. So we get For No One. For me, I feel like this is a similar vein. I'm kind of like it's mediocre and it's
He
listenable.
tried to yesterdayify this by using like strings, the string
Yeah,
quartet, right?
yeah,
So it's like I'm going to do this on acoustic guitar now with a string quartet produced by George Martin. Keep the French horn.
yeah. I see the vision. Like I guess if you're gonna rework For No One, like okay, I see the vision of that, but
Yeah, too bad it sucks.
it's mediocre. I get yeah. I have with a lot of these Beatles rewrites. I'm just really kind of
For no one.
for no one.
It's fucking, in his cowboy voice. I mean, it's horrible.
I just think it's very mediocre. Like it's fine. It's
It's
Paul.
so bad. It's so bad.
So
And
bad
another
was a couple of
medley.
tracks ago, mate.
Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah. So yeah. So we've got Eleanor Rigby.
His vocal here is like he comes in so weak.
Yeah.
This look at all the load. It's like, I'm Paul. Are you okay? Do you need a glass of water and some help? This, I didn't know. Didn't anybody sort of like listen and say, dude, you can sing, right? What is this?
Yeah. This is pretty. This version of Eleanor Rigby's pretty weak. I don't really know what's going on here. I think this is we're not when yeah this is possibly I think maybe the worst Beatles revisit because I'm just like this is actually like,
Yeah,
this is
I
poor
actually agree. I actually agree.
because the other ones to me at least are I'm like
Yeah.
these are really mediocre whereas with this I'm like no this is actually like bad it's
Yeah.
actually not it's not very
I
good
would go. I would go from bad to awful, but same difference.
yeah and the way it's kind of yeah, the way it's kind of put together, especially when you get the CD version,
Yeah.
Eleanor Rigby and Eleanor's Dream are essentially one 9-minute 10 track.
Yes.
So what do you think of Eleanor's Dream?
So I think it's very boring, uh, and by this time, and I'll be honest, like all my goodwill is like totally gone by this time. So. I don't like it. I don't know why he did that. It's a lot of real estate on a very long album already. So I'm really not happy with having to listen to it for our show either. Yeah, it's just not a good time. No, at all. So, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, so I know I feel like this instrumental. I mean, I understand. Obviously, it's for context. It's Paul is just blanks out after performing For No One for a radio program. He just sits there, blanks out. No one like goes in to check. Like, Paul, you're all right, mate. Like he just sits there for like nearly 10 minutes, just zoning out, and he imagines himself as a 18th, 19th century bureaucrat. I'm not making this up. This sounds like
I know. I've
it
seen
sounds
the
like I've
sequence.
just taken a load of drugs and just come up with an idea, and it goes into this weird dream sequence that is kind of
Which he will still try to defend, right? I think that's one of the only thing Paul in an interview was like, yeah, but the dream sequence is pretty cool, and I know the movie is not really. So.
it's. I, I mean, I just think. I mean, I think the whole music itself is it's just way too long. I think there's
It's
moments.
too long, and it really, if there was something in there which would have made it interesting, we would have heard it. I mean, it's I'd rather than listen to like sort of like the Yellow Submarine B side,
Yeah,
all
I
the
agree.
George Martin instrumentals or whatever, or listen to Flying, or you know, just, there's a lot of stuff I'd rather listen to. It's just really it doesn't grab me. It doesn't grab me at all. I can't. But again, I'm really biased, probably in a negative way, by just being like beaten down by this horrible album for the last whatever 40 minutes.
It just doesn't. It doesn't. This just doesn't help. When you've got this kind of
No.
like, I'd argue, self-indulgent instrumental dream sequence.
I think that's it. It's self-indulgent, and that's
Yeah.
probably what I'm feeling, and not being, it's annoying me. Yeah.
But I do have. I know you'll be dying to hear this. I've actually got a nice little Paul quote about this. If you're interested.
Please, quickly.
In the film, Eleanor Rigby has to run for about 9 minutes, although when I wrote the script, I had in mind something like a 3-minute segment based on the images I have described. Dickensian streets, capes, carriages, swords, and altars. By the time Peter Webb had finished, we had 9 minutes of anxiety into nightmare because Eleanor Rigby finishes after 3 minutes and the editor had filled up the time by putting classical music in. It was part of Brahms' violin concerto. This part George Martin and me, this put me and George Martin in a strange position. We had 6 minutes of classical music because I thought, if this character Brahms could do it, what's wrong with us doing it? We were rather forced into it by the director, and it's something we might not have normally attempted to do otherwise, but it was a challenge we couldn't resist, to extend and create a new song, rather like Eleanor Rigby. Although this was something quite different for me, strangely enough, when I wrote Eleanor Rigby. I did see that as my future. I was 23 or thereabouts and thinking, what am I going to be doing when I'm 30? And I thought then of some serious music, and I thought it would be perfect. It wouldn't have to be glamorous anymore. It was going to be my solution to the big problem of what does an old Beatle do. Then all these years later, I was forced into a corner and had to pick up that old dream and get down to being a classical composer. Well, for 6 minutes or so. Yeah, I think he's quite fond of this, and I'm.
Like I said, he still defends this. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now it gets worse. Because number 13.
The Long and Winding Road.
Long and Winding Road
You know what?
remake.
You know what? The thing with this one, on
Don't.
paper, if you said
Please.
to me, The Long and Winding Road with saxophones, I'd be like, you know what? I'm all for it. I'm okay.
No,
I'm open to the idea.
to saxophones?
Just because I like saxophone. So for me personally, I'm open. I'm as in like, okay, like I'll listen to you. Like,
Dude, I like hip hop. I don't want a rapper on the Long and Winding Road.
no, it's a bit no, but as in like, okay, you've got my attention. Like, I'm listening. Like,
Well, I'll before you continue, because I thought you were going this way. That's why I thought you were saying on paper, because who plays on this? The drummer is Dave Mattex. Now he is known for his work with Fairport Convention, which is a great cult band, and a great session musician as well. So that's number one.
yep.
Then we get Herbie Flowers on bass. So he was in T-Rex, which we all know, this band from the 70s, but also a session bass player. So he played the bass line on Walk on the Wild Side, Lou Reed, right?
Oh, yeah.
He plays on Space Oddity. He plays for Elton John. He plays for Harry Nilsson. He played for George Harrison and Ringo Starr. So he's like an amazing session bass player, right? And then we get Dick Morrissey on your aforementioned mentioned sax. Well, his claim to fame will be his solo in Stranglehold. Please, we'll get back to that one. And then we have the London Community Gospel Choir, right? As the choir
Yeah.
of We All Stand Together fame. We'll also get there, my friend. But just looking at the basic lineup, I'm like, yeah, man, this is going to be something. Please continue.
Yeah. Again, weird decision, saxophone. So I'm like, okay. I like saxophones. I like the Long and Winding Road. Not what I would have thought, but like we'll see. And I think when I listen to this, you know what? My biggest problem with this is not even the saxophones, which it sounds crazy. I know to you that probably sounds crazy. My bigger problem is the wider production. It's like with Good Day Sunshine. They just fucking scrub it and just clean it up, and it's just squeaky clean 80s, and it's not an enjoyable listen. Whereas the thing with the saxophones, again, it feels, and in this version it doesn't work, but there are moments where, like, you know, it has some of the little saxophone solos that like is playing the, you know, the tune of this, and I'm like,
Sure.
this is actually, like, on its own, if you isolate the saxophone track, okay, this is quite nice.
You really like saxophones.
Like, it just, as in, like,
I've learned something about
like,
you.
like that. Actually, again, if you just isolate the particular, like, there's, you know, that bit where it kind of does like the saxophone breakdown.
We're really arguing for the
I'm like,
saxophone.
okay, and again, I can see the vision of like.
So do you also like Kenny G is like saxophone, right? Like, do you listen to that stuff, or is it just particularly in other modern pop songs?
I think
stuff,
it's effective in, you know, modern pop songs, but again, it just doesn't work.
What's your favorite saxophone song?
But it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit this song. But like just
And
the
not
actual,
at all.
like, but the, you know, if you just had, like, you know, a Long and Winding Road saxophone kind of little instrumental section. I'm not saying have like a full track. You can't be doing that. That would be ridiculous. But if you just have, like, again, in the film when they do it, like Paul's driving, and it's actually, I mean, this is saying a lot about Paul's acting abilities, but I think it's one of the better Paul acting moments in the film, because he's like sitting there, like, kind of driving, and he's reflecting, and you actually feel like in a better film this scene would be quite powerful, because it's like, God, like Paul's having to deal with all this turmoil, but because it's a shit film it doesn't really work. But having that, like, the powerful sax play over as he's like driving, kind of like, you know, contemplating what's going on, you're like, God, this could have been a really, like, powerful moment in the film, but it doesn't work because the film is awfully told as a story. But
all right, yeah, I just think the production and the sound and the whole vibe of the song in this version is like really offensive, and I really hate it. But I really want to know, like, so stuff like the George Michael song with the da-na-na-na, the saxophone line, is like, do you dig stuff like that as well, or where does
Whisper. Who doesn't like the Careless Whisper?
Careless Whisper, right?
Yeah, who doesn't?
What
like
else?
that?
What are your favorite sax? What's like your top 3 sax?
Oh, I couldn't give you off the top of my head, but I mean, I've got another Beatles related sax.
Is it Lady Madonna, or
You know the well, yeah, that's great, but you know, you've got the well, it's not a George Harrison original, but he does a cover of Baltimore Oriole. I think it's Hoagy Carmichael. And that's a heavy sax track, but that's great.
Yeah,
sax on that's awesome. But yeah, I like the idea of, like, this. You have a less than, like, a little Long and Winding Road, like 30-second sax line. You get rid of all the other crap.
you keep
like,
trying to.
yeah, that's my point. Is the saxophone is not really. I don't like this revisit. I think it's rubbish.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
But the saxophone is really not where the issues are. It's almost everything else.
No, that I can actually agree with. That's
basically what I've been saying for the last 5 minutes.
I know, but I was just, you were really derailing me with your sax love, and I'm sort of like really interested. But maybe that's for another time. So let's please move on, because we have another album to do. No More Lonely Nights play out version.
This is one of the most 80s sounding things he's ever put out. And whilst I don't really like it all that much,
it works, right?
It's infectious in terms of how
it actually works. It actually
there's
works.
so many times I was walking around my flat, like in the kitchen, maybe cooking, you know, like no more lonely nights. You're my guy. Like it's so, like, there's almost. Oh, again, this is bad, but it's almost like, because it's so bad, like, it's almost played with like a nudge and a wink. It's almost like a little bit charming. It
exactly? This has a little bit. This has loads of charm, dude. If you want, he's showing us that he actually knows how to revisit a song, make it different, and keep it entertaining and keep it moving.
This is like,
and you know, he's like. You know, this the thing from, we got the tapes in the movie, a happy ending, and then we go into the corny 80s version of, you know, your big hit single. especially after all the dreck we've just been through, this is like a breath of fresh air. Like I was really digging it. I mean, I would never like voluntarily listen to it, but it's sort of like in the
Yeah.
sequence of the album, I'm like, damn, Paul, at least you tried. He tried here.
Yeah, it's yeah. Again, I don't really like it all that much, but I do. Yeah, it
No.
just. I feel like I should hate it a lot more.
Yeah, and it's he does a lot of it. He does like the acoustic guitar, bass,
Yeah.
drums, electric guitar, keyboards, vocals. So let's see, it's only like backing vocals is like Eric Stewart and Linda. Oh yeah, and some horns, but that's it. Like this is like a McCartney 2 track.
It does almost kind of borderline at times on kind of like cringy white soul as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, especially yeah,
Which
man.
again, I'm not crazy about soulless soul, as I like to call it. You know, when you like,
Yeah,
you know when,
plastic soul.
yeah, it kind of this song is a bit. It gets, I don't like it, but I also think it's a little bit charming, but also think it's incredibly like cringy. White, it's a bit all over the place, but again,
Look,
it'll
at
get
least,
stuck in my
dude,
head. It'll get stuck in my
at
head.
least I'm entertained. You know, this. I'm not like furiously angry listening to this. You know, so that was good.
Yeah, we wrap things up nice and properly with "Goodnight Princess." So this was
Yeah.
actually omitted from the vinyl release,
Yeah.
and then
This is perfectly fine. He does this loads, you know. It's,
yeah, it's,
I mean, this is a bit more like arranged. Like, what are other tracks he does like this? Like with the.
well, it's like the Wings tracks, you know, like "Walk in the Park with Eloise" and stuff like that.
Exactly.
It's that stuff,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So that is also not offensive at all, but just, you know, a little bit weird, but fine.
Yeah, it's him. I always again like in the film he visits a guy called Jim, and you know that's the same name as his dad, and the music plays in the background. You can tell he's obviously like it's kind of a tribute to his dad, and I think that's nice. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's
No, I like it. This is really great. And it's sort of like, you know, this is for me a fine way to sort of like end my listen with, you know, the play out version, which just makes me laugh, and and then this very sweet instrumental.
yeah.
Great.
I think yeah, exactly. I think it's one of those things. It's actually just an interesting little bit of lore on the release of it. So you get on the CD version when it comes out in 1984, it's called "Goodnight
Sure.
Lonely Princess," and then the UK Parlophone edition is "Goodnight Princess," but "Goodnight" is 2 words. And then the
Oh, yeah.
93 issue then puts "Goodnight" as 1 word. But yeah, that is "Give My Regards to Broadstreet."
Yeah.
I still stand by what I said. I think now you kind of see where I'm coming from when I say this album's really mediocre for the most part, with 3 good songs, and then a lot of it I just think is really mediocre, and then there is admittedly quite a few dross. So,
I would say bad, just bad, because
yeah.
I'm thinking, you know, mediocre, like half the songs need to be good. But this is just like there's like 3 salvageable songs at the most, which of one is like an essential, and the other 2, they're like these old friends from high school you've never seen again.
I guess my point is you've got 3 really good songs, and then there's some bad songs. But then
No, there's one great song, and there are
a lot
2
of these
nice
a lot
songs.
of these tracks that we discussed, I think you've heard me say like, yeah, this is okay. It was a lot of these tracks I do just think are really mediocre. Like they could have been a lot worse, and they could have been a lot better. Like they're just.
I
Really,
don't see how it could have been
they're
worse.
really mid. Oh, you could have easily made some of the. I think you could have made a lot of the tracks a lot worse. Like you said, if we'd gone for like a hip hop yesterday, I think that would have been worse.
Yeah,
Did a
okay.
reggae infused here, there, and everywhere, I think that would have been worse. If we did classical version of classical version of Silly Love Songs would have been quite interesting actually.
That would have been interesting.
I know a
I
heavy
think
metal.
he does that on McCartney Classical, maybe.
Yeah, or like a death metal
Classical.
Silly Love Songs. You could make these worse. I do believe they're just pretty.
Oh, he doesn't. Yeah. Well, anyway, I really hate this, and I think it's like really horrid, and I don't like it, and I never listen to it, and I really love No More Lonely Nights, and I think Not Such a Bad Boy, No Values are just perfectly fine, and would listen again to those 2 songs. Yeah, but I'm glad this is over.
Yeah,
What's next?
yeah. To me, this just to conclude, this is like a proper 5 out of 10 album for me. Like it's just
5 out of 10.
yeah,
Damn, you're being very kind to Sir Paul, but
yeah.
that's okay. That's
Oh my god, I've just realised we've got to talk about "We All Stand Together." This has been brewing in the pot for
yes,
God knows how long. So
yes.
this song was recorded on October 30th, uh, well 31st of October, the
Yeah.
3rd, 10th, 15th, 17th of November 1980, and then recorded again in 1984. And obviously, well, we got George Martin producing this one as well, and it's released on the 12th of November 1984.
Yeah.
Excuse for those of you who can hear me. Apologies, it sounds like I'm speaking through gritted teeth. It's because I am.
I think you are.
But yeah, I think before we really get into the meat and potatoes of this, I will give a little bit of background on this. So between 1981 and 83, we get Rupert and the Frog song, which is like this 13-minute animated short film. It's written and produced by Paul.
What do you've seen it? I guess
No.
you haven't.
We'll,
So you have no context.
I don't need. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. But yeah.
Okay, so for the listeners, this
yeah.
look, I'm of course I have kids, right? So, but this is for a short film, like a 13-minute thing we watched before they go to bed. Now they're a bit older and they're like, this is fine because it's really sort of like Disney-fied. It's really for young kids, and I don't know if how long Rupert the bear exists, or maybe Paul knows it from his youth or something. Or there was some reason that he was sort of enamored with this property, right?
It goes back a while. It's like a stories.
It's really a classical
Yeah.
British thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it really works in that way. So just, with me and the kids, we watch it and it's entertaining and it's not like top notch or Disney or Pixar or whatever, but it's just fun. And the song is part of, this adventure in the 13 minutes where Rupert the bear goes off. He goes off from home and he gets distracted by whatever, like leaves on a tree, which turn into butterflies, and he follows him into a cave, and then he meets the frogs, and this is where the track begins. So, all right.
Yeah. So actually, Rupert and the Frog song, continuing on that, it was actually intended to be like a full-length animated film.
Yeah.
And you get voice. McCartney does a voice. We also got June Whitfield and Windsor Davis as well provide voices for it as well. And this little film that Marnix discussed, it was shown in cinemas as like the opener before the Give My Regards to Broadstreet film. And
You would have had such a great time if you were alive.
It won a BAFTA for best animated short film.
No, but it's really, really, it's probably better than Give My Regards to Broadstreet as a product.
I don't doubt that. Yeah, and actually, in 1985, it won an Ivor Novello for best film theme. The song, that is, obviously.
Yeah.
Got to number 3 in the UK, not a single in the US. Lucky them. And yeah, I mean, we've got the King Singers, the St Paul's Cathedral Choir, and the London Community Gospel Choir.
As noted earlier, yeah.
All on there, yeah.
The thing is, I like this song, and I don't rank it in the same universe even as Paul's regular output. To me, this is a soundtrack song for a kid's cartoon, right? So I would sort of like, to me, it's in the world of like Disney songs or animation songs or whatever. And to me, it's like Paul did a style exercise to use his songwriting skills in this domain. Right, the same way as he would maybe, like he did a song for a video game, or he does all kinds of stuff, or he does experimental tracks. And because this song gets a lot of hate, of course, which I'm aware of, because people sort of like try to say, well, this is a guy who wrote Yesterday or whatever, and what is this track? But it's not the same. This is a totally different thing. You know what I mean? So in that context, I really like it. I'm like, if you're going to write a theme to a cartoon, this is probably one of the better ways to do it. It's a Paul McCartney song. I think, he won some awards for it, so I'm probably not alone in my opinion. and I'm not offended at all. And even I enjoy it even sometimes. But I need to be in a mood for a kid's cartoon song, So I won't put it on. It's not a banger, but yeah. The floor is yours.
Where do I even begin? Where do I even begin with this? Because you know what, I always hate the argument of like when someone does something for like a kids film or kids whatever.
My argument.
Yeah, they're like, oh, but it's for the kids, like so it can be really bad. No,
No, that's not what I'm saying. I didn't say it was
shit
bad.
reason. This song is just a total abomination. It's so bad. The vocals are like ear-gratingly terrible. Children's choirs as well are always so hit and miss, and it's a total miss on here. It drives me up the wall. The bums and the cat songs. It's so extremely obnoxious, and it's just so schmaltzy and like it's like,
very schmaltzy.
It's Paul's like cheesy, approach to songwriting, but just times a billion. It's honestly, I think the song it makes like a nice kind of classical music piece, but just the way it's produced and just everything, like it's so unbearable. It's so terrible. And the other thing that I hate about this song is this song. I hate that this song exists. Because so many times I've had fucking people who obviously don't know too much about Paul McCartney. I say like, oh yeah, I like Paul McCartney, and they're just like, oh yeah, but he did the Frog song, and it's you can't argue with it because the song is so fucking terrible.
Because they're right.
Everyone brings up this song, and it's always used as like a counter thing as to why Paul McCartney like after the Beatles
isn't cool.
And you can't argue against it because the song in itself is so fucking bad. It's so terrible, and it drives me up the wall. This I think is one of the worst things he's ever done.
Really?
If you were to say, Mark, what's in your top 5 least favorite Paul McCartney songs? And this is right up there. This is like number 1, number 2, number 3. This is so fucking it's so insufferable, and it fills me with incandescent rage. I hate this song so much. I hate it. Again, it's just a bad song, and also just the fact that people use this as like a. And it gets brought up in an argument, and you can't defend it because it's fucking terrible. I hate this song so much, and it's one of the banes of being a Beatles fan because it did really well, and people will bring it up, and I fucking hate this song so much.
Yeah, it's sort of like almost like a Christmas song or something. It's
shit Christmas song, yeah. Absolute abomination.
It's amazing. This is amazing. I think it's really interesting that you say like. The point you bring up with people using this as a sort of like a stick. Well, Paul's not cool because he wrote this. That's a sort of like maybe turn it around. It's sort of like the reason I sort of like embrace this song. I'm like, yeah, this is also Paul. Being a Paul fan means that you get this as well. And the reason he also does stuff like this as well as experimental songs and whatnot, that's what makes him Paul McCartney. So it's actually, to me, it's a quintessential Paul McCartney song.
He can do like really, he does loads of different unique stuff. So I agree in that extent, but like this is not a good example of like, oh, he's done something. Just because something's different doesn't mean it's good. Like he's like, for example, there was that Rupert song that he did, like Rupert the Bear theme song that he did. That's kiddie and that's fun.
And all the rest of the stuff, the wind is blowing and stuff. Yeah,
Rupert is singing a song. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, man, you're damn right he is. Whereas like this is actually just shit. Like it's actually just it's so obnoxious.
So and then the humming version, which sounds more like the song you mentioned and the other stuff he produced, which was unreleased for the Rupert soundtrack.
Yeah, the intro weirdly actually I never thought I'd be saying this. The intro kind of reminds me of Penny Lane a little bit on that humming version because it does the like. Yeah. I mean, it's shorter. It's slightly less obnoxious. Still not very good though. This is the worst Paul McCartney single you can ever get your hands on, I would say.
Really?
Well, what worse? Like, what's going to be?
Didn't he release like "Please Me, Love Me Do" thing remix thing as well? Wasn't that a single? Huh?
Is that like an A-side though?
I'm not sure. I want to check now.
Because I feel like if anything, it was like a B-side filler to maybe a good A-side. Whereas like this is just
Maybe.
a shit song and then a humming version of the same shit song. Oh, brilliant! Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Um, yeah. Just to be really, really honest, just from your perspective, yeah, Walking in the Park with Eloise was a single. You
Yeah,
probably prefer that.
yeah, but those are harmless, like fun, like they're
Yeah.
yeah, much better than.
Seaside Woman is not really. I'd rather listen to this than Seaside Woman, honestly.
I wouldn't. I'd much
Yeah,
rather
no,
listen
I
to this.
know, I know.
Jesus.
Ah, Rockestra Theme was a single. I'm sorry,
Oh,
I'm losing.
in
Nah, yeah, I'm not.
France.
This is not
In
his worst single.
France, not unlike the major like Rockestra themes a sing. What's the B side though?
Also, answer.
Yeah, good B side.
Yeah, but we're talking about A sides.
I was just talking about the single as a
Oh
collective.
yeah, good. Yeah, good
Okay,
disclaimer.
I'd
Nice,
rather listen to
nice.
Rockestra theme.
Quick thinking, my friend.
I'd take Rockestra theme over.
You would. You
Yeah,
would.
yeah. Not that I'm a big Rockestra man,
Yeah.
but yeah, Abomination, absolute Abomination.
Yeah, yeah. As a lead single, maybe. I'm not sure I'm with you, but it's okay. Let's move on.
Oh, actually,
What's next?
we literally got the next song, which is probably another contender for absolute fucking abomination. The 1985 classic "Spies Like Us."
Oh
Are you
fuck, I forgot about it. Shit, I memory hold that.
released released on the 18th of November
No,
1985?
that's worse. Dude, that's a single as well, right?
Well, this is well, we'll get to it, but yeah, produced by Paul Hugh Padgham, who produces
Way worse than
Remote.
We All Stand Together. Way worse.
Well, we'll get to it. I'm just going to give a bit of background first, but I'll give my opinion on this. So yeah, it's made for the film Spies Like Us, with stars Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd. And you've got Paul playing everything except for Eddie Rayner, who plays a synth, and then you get Eric
No.
Stewart, Mary Robbins, who's his cousin, and they're on like vocals and stuff. 7 in the US, 13 in the UK, and it was his last top 10 until the 4-5 seconds track with Kanye and Rihanna.
Goes to show people's taste is sometimes pretty horrible.
But yeah, so firstly, okay, so what do you think of Spies Like Us?
That sucks. This is really bad. I don't know why. This is it's very cringy. It's not good. It's very tossed off. It's yeah, why didn't anybody stop him? Why didn't anybody say, dude, this is not a single. It's not. Yeah. This is just really horrible and a real shame that this ever got released.
Oh yeah, yeah. This also is a total fucking abomination. This is
Yeah,
why I'm
this-
not quite decided yet as to where we all stand together. If it's my absolute least favorite Paul McCartney album, because
No,
we've got this as well, and then another song that we'll talk about in the next episode. Like, this is also really fucking bad. I remember I had back to back. I was listening through the singles for this era, and
yeah,
I listened to We All Stand Together. I listened to the humming version. Got to Spies Like Us, and I was listening to the music video version's a little bit shorter than the single version.
yeah.
I actually, when it got to like the breakdown bit, when it goes like Spies Like Us, and then Paul does all the screaming and ad lib to try and
Oh,
make it
man.
sound really cool and really epic. I nearly cried. I nearly cried. I nearly cried listening, just because I just had been drained so much. I was just
This is me at Wanderlust on Give My Regards. Like after 3 songs.
This is just like so bad on so many levels, because the lyrics are so terrible. You've got the goofy drum machine effect. There's nothing really good on this, and I also the music video really irks me, because you've got Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd in the music video, and
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd's the producer in the studio, like he's like rocking along, like yeah, and it drives me up the fucking wall. Like,
This is
again, no
horrible.
hate to Dan Aykroyd. He's been in some good stuff. Love a bit of Ghostbusters, all that. Who doesn't?
No, but this is to me this has like cocaine vibes to me. Like I got a good idea.
It's just, and also like the bits where it's like, oh, never need a special clothes. Oh, like those O's just they're really awkward. They don't fit.
Yeah.
It's so of its time, but in like the worst way. This is
Well, just discussing this with you now, of
Yeah.
course, and you were talking about like the Paul hate earlier and sort of like his critical reputation, but actually, I can't really blame those people if we're just putting everything in a row right now. I'm like, yeah, they might have had a point. I'm not. I mean. Yeah, we're the biggest fans, but you're really doing it to yourself at this point, aren't you?
Yeah, and just the whole thing around it as well, because you mentioned, why did no one stop him? I mean, the director, John Landis, had the chance to stop him. I mean, there's kind of conflicting stories about it, but,
Yeah.
Paul claims that John
He said he couldn't say no to the label and the studio, right?
Well, yeah, because Paul claims that John Landis rang him about doing, like, a track for the song, and then that's how it came about. But then Landis claims that, oh, no, Paul came to him and was like, oh, I want to do a theme. Either way, Paul records a song for it, and, Landis is basically about to reject it to him on the phone. And I think Paul, well, the way John Landis says it, I think he probably thought Paul was being serious. I think Paul kind of said it as a joke, and John Landis kind of froze and was like, shit. But Paul basically said, oh yeah, like, isn't it great? It's the best thing I've written since John died. And
Yeah.
I think, and Landis, instead of realizing it was a joke, he was kind of like, fuck, okay, yeah, it's great. And then
Fuck.
so that's why we get this
No turning back.
absolute abomination. Yeah, again, this is easily one of the worst things he's ever put out, like top 5.
Yeah.
Again, top 3.
I never voluntarily listened to this, and horrible.
This song ruined my life.
Moving on.
But yeah, moving on, we've got Press to Play, recorded April 1985 to April 1986 in Hog Hill, the studio we mentioned at the top of the episode. Released on September 1st, 1986 in the UK, and August 25th, 1986 in the US. And we've got Paul and Hugh Padgham on producing duties.
Yeah.
Hugh Padgham's worked on all sorts of things, from The Police to Phil Collins, McFly as well in the 2000s, if you've heard of McFly.
Yeah. Oh,
He
wow.
produced a couple of the early McFly albums. And
that's interesting.
he's basically
Also
produced,
Genesis and Ecstasy and Human League, and
he's produced stuff in the 80s. Some of the stuff I really love, and some of it I really don't like. So yeah, but Hugh, he's got a knack for making good albums.
Yeah.
But not. This album wasn't particularly successful, like by Paul's standards. So 8 in the UK and Norway, 30 in the US and West Germany, 21 in the Netherlands, 11 in Japan, 28 in Canada and Switzerland, 12 in Spain, 17 in Sweden, and 22 in Australia.
All right.
But yeah, without further ado, I think we'll go straight into track 1, Stranglehold, a co-write with Eric Stewart, who's one of the main collaborators on this album with Paul. And it was a single in the US, October 29th, 1986, and in Canada as well, actually, and and Japan as well. And it got to 81 in the US and 75 in Canada. So what do you think of Stranglehold?
Great track. Really nice. I like the production. I like the... I don't know if you're familiar, in the booklet of the CD at least, there are these animations, these drawings of how Paul saw the stereo space. So he would draw in like vocals here and saxophones there and acoustic guitar here. So he would like a 3D map of the stereo mix. And the sound, yes, it's pretty 80s based, but not in an offensive way. I like listening to this version of that sound, as well as I like listening to like Phil Collins and Genesis and The Police and stuff which is produced really well. To me, it has sort of like a timeless quality, even though you can pinpoint that it's 80s. I like the playing on it. His vocal is really, really good. It's like it's an energetic song, and he does something with his lyrics which is really like... staccato or rhythmic. Like, so when he comes in as a, can I get you to give me a minute of your time? So it's really on the beat. I've never heard him do something like that before, because usually he's more melodic, right?
Yeah.
So it's also sort of like a wake up call, like, hey, Paul, welcome back. Really good. And I like the chorus as well, the I Can Wait. The saxophone solo is insane. So, this is just a really good track. And I think a very underrated Paul single, maybe one of the most underrated Paul singles as in regards to notoriety versus quality. So that is my assessment.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm in complete agreement with you. You know what?
Good.
This is my favorite song off the album.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see that.
I love this song so much. It's always been one of my favorites. I even remember, 16, 17-year-old Mark spinning Press to Play for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, how
Yeah,
young
yeah.
and innocent you were, Mark, listening to Press to Play for the first time. But anyway,
Yeah,
I've always loved Stranglehold. I think this is fucking awesome. I think the band sounds really good because you've got Jerry Murata on drums.
yeah.
Eric Stewart's on vocals and acoustic and electric guitar. We've got Paul
Yeah.
on acoustic, electric, and bass guitar and synthesizers. We mentioned Dick Morrissey; he's on sax, and also don't forget Gary Barnacle. What a name that is!
Amazing name.
But I also think, and Press to Play is what's fascinating about Press to Play is I think this is an example of a Paul McCartney album where actually the issues are not in the lyrics, but actually just some of the musical and production choices. I think Press
What
to Play.
issues?
I feel like
I have no issues yet. Maybe we'll get into it,
yeah,
but
no, but yeah.
for now,
Because
I'm good.
I'm talking about but for example, I love the production on this track, but when
Yeah.
Press Play gets it wrong, it's rough. And
we'll get into it.
but the lyrics on across the album, even some of the songs that I'm not a fan
Really
of, I'm
good.
like,
Good
some lines.
songwriting.
So
Yeah.
there's one for example, I love this from Stranglehold. Are you willing to wager a little of your life? Are you willing to take such a gamble? Are you
Oh,
ready
yeah.
to walk on the edge of the knife? Then I think we can skip the preamble. Oh,
That's a bar.
that's a bar. If Kendrick dropped that, we'd all be,
No, it's really, really good.
I
It's
love
really
that.
good.
That again is
No,
maybe
this-
one of my favorite Paul lyrics from this album. Just that little section.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, great shout. Great shout. Really
Great
good.
song. Underrated Stamp. If I didn't already say it, by the way, lovely song.
You didn't, but I get you. Really nice. Yeah.
And then we get Good Times Coming, and well, technically Feel the Sun as well, which are two songs together.
Yeah.
But
So
we'll jump into Good
mashing
Times
it up
Coming.
as he does.
What do you think of Good Times Coming?
Oh, dude, I'm still happy here. This was actually one of my favorite songs. Just getting to know the album when I was younger, and just getting, listening to it for the first time. Because this is really I like happy, positive pop music, and I really like the two vibes. So the Good Times Coming. It starts off really strange with the sort of like the chorus fading in of the people singing it, and you're like, what's going on here? And then you have like the reggae drum break, and then he goes into this very produced sound, sort of like futuristic sound to me. Like the lyrics as well, and the vocal delivery when he sings like "Pack up your bags and yell Geronimo" with the backing vocals in there. Like I'm having fun, and then we get the switch up into "Feel the Sun" with once you get like sparkly synths in there, some good production choices to me. I'm happy. I like that. I like some like interesting musical production. Like you can get me with just a good beat. So but I also like the singing there. I heard the long version, like the original, before it was chopped up, and then it goes on a bit too long. I'm like, I'm very glad that he sort of like mashed these two together, and I was so happy that this popped up on the McCartney. What was it? Collected or what is
Pure
it?
McCartney.
Pure McCartney, exact. Thank you. So this popped up on there, and I'm like, yes, recognition, because this is really one of my like underrated favorite McCartney songs. So I'm still all the way in at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, the good times aren't coming for me on this.
Yeah.
On these two. With Good Times Coming, I don't hate it or anything. It's just
Yeah.
never really connected with me, and it's just not. I don't think it's anything particularly outstanding musically. Again, I don't mind like the themes and stuff he's talking about, but Also, you talk about the intro where it has like the kind of the good times coming, like chime,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it goes into that reggae drum. That kind of always just throws me off. I'm like, this doesn't really work. It doesn't.
Ah,
To me, it just doesn't. These are two things that you've like tried. You try and put two things together, and you're like, yeah, that looks pretty rough. And that's to me, it just
yeah, he
sounds
d- he
pretty
d- he
rough.
does that more on this album, and this is the least annoying version of that to me. I'm like,
Yeah,
and it's so short that I'm like, we get into the song. I forgot to mention like the bridge, the I'm loving you now with the
yeah.
with the guitars coming in. So even that, I think it's just musically really interesting. But I do get, it's a fair point which you bring up with
Yeah.
the intro.
Whereas
Yeah,
Feel the Sun, I don't like it. Sorry.
you don't.
No,
Ah,
I find it actually quite irritating. Feel the
why?
sun shining, shining. Feel the sun shining. Oh, it's so annoying.
Don't mess with the song. Shut up.
He keeps going back to it as well. Like he just like constantly. Like I feel again, like I said this countless times on this podcast. Like if you're gonna repeat something, like make it something that's cool. Or like it's just really annoying. And I don't like. Again, this is one of them. This is another track on here that's the same. I just don't like the vocal he's
Oh,
singing. It's not like it's not technically bad. It's not.
no.
But
Very good.
it's just quite annoying. That's just how it sounds to me, and I yeah
All
don't
right.
really
Well,
like.
that's a shame. So we really differ on this. I really like this track in full, the whole
Yeah,
thing.
again,
Yeah.
with Good Times Coming, I can kind of I'm like, you know what? I can understand it. Whereas Feel the Sun, I'm like, I don't really get why people are vibing with this one. It's like it just feels
Yeah.
really half-assed, and yeah, yeah, Paul's like happy and feeling the
The
sun
only
shining.
thing which I could with the half-assed, to be honest, the bit where he has like the small bridge in in Feel the Sun, like if you love me, show me now. It's the only way that we know how. He ends on like the same chord in which he starts Feel the Sun again, which like songwriting wise, I'm like, you could have done like slightly more there, but again, it's like to me it doesn't noticeably like this is not a classic. This is not like a 10 or something, but a good 7 to 8, would be my judgment of this track. I really really like it, and especially because it's so unknown and underrated. But yeah,
We get worse
you
on
can
here.
never tell. Yeah.
We get worse than this on here, but I still, yeah, just not.
I'm still locked in. I'm still happy. I'm like, yeah, man. Press is, I'm enjoying myself. Press to play.
Okay, yeah,
Next
fair
song.
enough. But then the next track is Talk More Talk. So Paul, a lot of the base of it, Paul picks out some quotes. It's like, I don't like sitting down music. That's the one that stands out to me. And there's kind of like, snippets from like interviews and stuff. So it's like, a master can highlight the phrases of his words to digress, which I think that's from a Tom Waits interview.
Yeah,
And
that's what he
and
said,
it's
right?
remixed for the Only Love Remains 12th single with Paul and John Jacobs. Um,
Yeah.
so this one, like, I think it's got like an interesting, like, spooky intro,
Intro. Yeah.
and I'm like, all right, Paul, let's see what you got here. Like,
Yeah.
you've captured my attention, and then it just kind of goes into a song that I'm really not feeling. Like, it just all this like interesting, spooky intrigue just to kind of go into this like pretty average 80s pop rock track that, admittedly, again, actually has some pretty. I like the idea of it more than
Funky production on here, man.
I like the idea of it more than when I actually listen to it.
All right. So
I feel
I'm
like
the other
it's-
way around. So this whole spoken word intro, I'm like, I don't need this. This is taking long. And then it goes into the song, and it sort of was such a sort of like whiplash going into the song, especially when the beat comes in, and you're like, this doesn't fit together at all. But then, listening to this album more often, not just in preparation for this, but just generally, I'm not. This track has like a very catchy beat to me. It has interesting production choices and some, like bells and whistles left and right, which really pull me in. I like some of the lyrics in like the verses, like the digital organ finishing stretch bit. And he says instrumentation, analog Gretsch. So again, with this rhyming scheme and fitting different words together. And I think the chorus is pretty catchy. The talk, chat more chat, and going into the outro. So you know, I'm quite okay with the song. It's just the intro that I'm like, I don't need the weird voiceovers, and I don't know who's doing the voiceovers, if he's tweaking his voice or if it's somebody he knows. But that to me is not useful at all or necessary.
Though, just
But I like the song, man. Yeah.
I just think I just yeah in a way we do kind of agree because again like the intro bit like
That's
intrigues
James
me.
McCartney. Yeah, I read about it. His kid does some of the
Yeah, like
quotes. But sorry,
yeah, but
continue.
like yeah, I think we are kind of in agreement in a weird way because, like, for me, like, oh, I'm kind of like intrigued by like, okay, where's this going? And then the tone completely shifts, and I'm like, what?
That's
It
what he
doesn't
does.
fit. Like, there's not.
Yeah,
It's really off. And there's another song on this album where it starts off in one direction, and then I'm like, oh, I don't
yeah,
really. Oh, okay. Is that what you decided to do after that? All right.
yeah.
Just not really. But again, I think because it's creative and it's like pretty wacky and like it's Paul trying something. And again, there's some cool lyrics in there. It's one of
Yeah,
those ones where I'm like, I like it. I like it more than the previous track. I like it more than
you do.
I like
Oh,
it more
that's
than Good
good.
Times Come and Feel the Sun.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
of the stuff that I'm not keen on Press to Play.
yeah,
I don't hate it as much. Or I don't even hate this song, but I just don't like it. I like it more than the other stuff I don't like.
yeah. Sure, sure, sure. No, I'm still here. I'm still like, yeah, man. You go, Paul. This is good. This is weird '80s shit. I'm vibing. Yeah,
Yeah, I can see the appeal. That's the thing with this song as well.
yeah,
Okay, I can see the appeal. But yeah, just again, oh, God, I never really go back to this one if I'm being completely honest.
yeah. All right. Well, next song,
Let me get
Footprints.
track 5, which is Footprints, which is another co-write with Eric Stewart. And I did want to note actually, there's an interesting Eric Stewart quote where he basically says about Paul, he usually comes up with the most brilliant ideas just off the top of his head. I remember a time where it was snowing here in winter and we were supposed to be writing together, so I said, I'm going to try and make it down there. The snow was 3 feet deep and I got down to his place and the sun was shining and it was gorgeous and I walked to the little studio at the back of his house and we walked through the little door and I said to Paul, it's beautiful outside. Paul, look at this beautiful. And he sang, it's beautiful outside. That was the basis of the song Footprints, and we started writing it. His brain worked out in a way in which got my brain working as well, and I was doing my solo stuff. So a great debt is owed to Paul by a lot of people, especially by me.
Oh,
So what are you thinking of Footprints? I feel like I know what your stance is on Footprints, but I'm still going to ask anyway.
I'm good. You know, the only thing is, it's sort of like he does this more. It's probably he has a song on "Flowers in the Dirt," which is also this sort of like Spanish guitar style. I'm blanking on the name.
Distractions.
Distractions, and he has songs on later albums as well, which are all in this style. You
We
know,
got
so
married from Flowers in the Dirt. Also has that kind of guitar like Spanish. Yeah.
probably, yeah, and a couple of more. But this is, to me, it made me think of, like, to me this is a successful version of what he tries in this medley at the end bit of Back to the Egg.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about that one, and
What's the stuff
it
like We're
has,
Open Tonight and things like that?
yeah, no, the end three, you know, the with the how many miles in there as
Oh
well.
yeah, like how many miles? Yeah, Winter Rose, Love Awake, all that kind of stuff.
Winter Rose, yeah. So the Winter Rose bit, the vibes of Winter Rose came to mind, but that's probably with the snow lyrics and the
Yeah,
footprints and the and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is that version of Paul, or that world he tries to touch on, and I'm really into it, man. I think it's nice. I think the lyrics are very poetic. Of the white blanket covers memory of all that used to be. You know, this is really banging lyrics. I like the soundscape, the production, and there's also some sort of like experimentation in there, because at one point it goes into a bit for a solo, but it's a sort of like really weird detuned bass or something. I don't know what we're listening to, but you know the bit I'm talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just a real vibe, and I like the delivery again of his lyrics. So it's again another vocal delivery which he chooses here. So he's playing with what voice to put on for what song. Um, yeah, I'm still on board. What can I say?
I feel like so. I think when it comes to side one, I think behind Stranglehold, this is probably It's my second favorite thing on side one.
Oh, good.
But
Also, the co-writes. So
yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah.
but
But
I'm still not like that crazy about this one. Like
sure.
everyone loves it, and they're like, "Oh, this is so underrated. It's so brilliant. This is like one of Paul's like hidden gems." I'm like,
No, I'm not. I prefer distractions.
"Oh
You know.
God, yeah."
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
don't
But
even get me started on distractions. We'll get there, but whew,
I prefer this to like Winter Rose or many other things. So I wouldn't.
I would take Winter Rose over
You
it.
would?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, I just but there's something about this song. I really like how it starts and how it ends. That little like acoustic riff at the start and end. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Love that. And then we kind of, and then Paul starts singing, and it's beautiful outside. I'm like, yeah, all right. And then it just kind of, I don't know, it just never really gets out of the second gear. It never really gets into second gear. We get into
No,
we start the car. We get into gear one, like we're driving. All right. Are we gonna get? Are we gonna like? Just never really gets going for me. And then by the time and I kind of it just doesn't really capture my interest that much. And then
no, that's okay.
we get to the end, and then it's like, oh, that's a nice little really nice outro there. Just and I think a lot of people are not going to like my take on that. They're like, this is brilliant. Is one of his. I just don't think it's.
I wouldn't say brilliant, but I would think it's one of their better co-writes. Also with Stranglehold mentioned, but
It's not saying
I'm
much, though. I think when you look at the McCartney Stewart co-writes generally, unfair. They only really got one album to do some co-writes, but I don't know. Again,
they did. Didn't he provide anything at all on?
well, no, that's more just like he's
Pipes?
just on the tracks. You know what I mean? Like,
All right.
Yeah, so not really anything. I'm not really crazy about this one, but if I was if I'm like restructuring Press to Play, it's staying on the album. I'm not getting rid
No,
of
but
it.
they have a lot. They have most of side two, and then the bonus tracks or the B sides to the singles as well. So I think they did a lot together. It's
Yeah, I mean, the more you talk about it, the more you bring it up. I'm like, oh yeah, no, actually, this is.
It's like eight tracks top of the head, and I don't know if Yvonne's the one. If we can count that one, is that a co-write?
I mean, I'd count it personally, but
Yeah, so that's 9. So yeah, it's quite some stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I think so. So regarding that, Footprints is up there for me in there, like maybe their top 4 co-writes or something. Yeah.
Not for me, but each to their own.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
moving on. Last song on side A.
Yeah, Only Love Remains, single that came out on the 1st of December 1986. 34 in the UK,
Perfect.
9 on the US.
Perfect December song.
Yeah, 9th on the US Adult Contemporary chart. There's like also on the 12 you've got like, the Jim Boyer mix, which is basically adds like some more sax and stuff like that. And there's also like remixes on like some of the other 12s as well, which is always interesting, and as well like future copies. You got like a bonus Mull of Kintyre on there as well. I guess to try and boost sales. And you got Tony Visconti, who did Bound on the Run. He scores the orchestra.
Oh, interesting.
So you know what? So going back to Press to Play for this podcast and just revisiting the album, I've always really enjoyed this song a lot. But this song has become like a big obsession of mine the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like both versions. I love both versions so much.
Yeah.
I think I prefer the single version a little bit more.
You do? Oh, yeah.
Saxophone, come on.
Oh, God. Yeah, but the Spanish things they don't really add anything like the...
I would disagree. I think it adds to the romanticism. Latin music can be quite romantic. I just like.
No, I love like the single version, especially now that it's more accessible. Because I have all the vinyl singles from this album, like every one, right?
Yeah.
But I'm glad that one was released. I'm missing a couple of things on streaming, of course, like the Press remix and stuff. But we'll get to that. But I think both to me this like the album version just edges it out. But I think they're both great. I agree. The single version is really nice as well. And just a lovely song, right? I can get your obsession because Were you? When did you like discover this? Were you familiar with this
Yeah,
previously?
again,
Or?
I've always, I've listened to Press to Play, a long time ago now. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's one I've always, it's always just growing and growing in my estimation. But just recently, I was just listening to it, I was like, God, this is so fucking good, and it's
It went up
really,
a level. Yeah.
yeah. And I just, one thing I've noticed about it as well, it feels like it could be in like a musical type.
Oh, sure.
I
Yeah.
could see it as like, like the epic, like, romance ballad to close the end of the
Yeah.
first act. So
Yeah.
especially with
Sure.
like, it just has this has this real musical feel to it.
Sure.
I find it interesting that it seemed as if there was a lot of uncertainty for Paul and kind of whether to put this on the album or not. He was kind of a bit like, well, I wonder, like he got a bit defensive because he's like, oh, people are just going to say it's the compulsory ballad on the album and stuff. It's like, no, it's cool, man. This is really good. Like, it's a
Yeah.
great way to close side one. And again, my second favorite track on the whole album, behind Stranglehold, this is like my favorite thing on the album. I think this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm in total agreement. This is like because Press to Play isn't really one of the albums that you get served early on when
No.
you get into McCartney, right? It's like, yeah, listen to Band on the Run and maybe Ram or whatever, and but this song just, yeah, this is pretty amazing. And again, also with No More Lonely Nights, this is the power ballad Paul. Superpower.
Yo, yeah.
He can do this in his sleep, and this
Ballad on
is
steroids.
yeah, and this is a good version. I mean, sometimes he doesn't hit, but this one is up there as well to me. So really enjoyable, love it.
Lovely. All right. So yeah, side
Yeah.
two, we kick off with Press. A very initially when I was looking into this, I thought it was, oh, everyone hates this, but actually it's more divisive. People like it, people don't like it. It was released July 14th, 1986, so it's the pre-single before the album. 25 in the UK, 21 in the US, which is not great for a Paul McCartney lead single. And yeah, the whole this story about how Paul thought about the song as a premise is really fucking bizarre. This is another one where it sounds like I've made it up, or it's so weird. So
Yeah.
Paul says, this is genuinely how the quote starts off.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like a back rub? There are some people who don't, but I love them. It's right up my street, that kind of thing. So Linda was being nice enough to give me one day. And as they say, you can draw your own conclusions from that. Yes, a massage. Anyway, she was giving me a massage and it just felt so good. And I kind of got the words, oh, well, that's it. Oh, yeah, right there. Oh, down a bit, up a bit. And then the word press started to run around in my mind as a kind of double meaning thing where you get the actual pressing. So it then started to mean a little bit more than just a massage thing. So that was the original
You
inspiration.
think?
It started to then mean touching. I know sometimes when you're a little bit nervous to meet someone, if you touch them, it can make things better. It's a great thing, I think, between people. Some people aren't touchers, and I wouldn't be the world's greatest toucher, but I know people like Johnny Carson, I've heard him say, he's just not one of those guys that goes around, hey, how are you, huggy, huggy. But I know from my own experience, that can be a great thing. Even just shaking hands with someone, it gives you something, some kind of contact. So this song, then I started to play it around with this idea of a girl and a boy who actually want to touch each other. But there's a whole big crowded room full of people. What are they going to do? So he kind of says to her, anytime you want me to do that, just kind of say press quietly and you know what I mean. So if that becomes a little secret massage, a little secret message between the two of them, what the fuck is that?
Dude. Just tell her she wrote the song about sex. It's fine.
Paul, you got a happy ending and that's okay.
That's exactly. It was a massage with a happy ending.
But
but it's all in the lyrics. The one thing the song salvages itself, but he opens with the line, "Darling, I love you very, very, very much, and I really am relying on your touch." Now, this is in the June Moon vein. He does, sometimes he like fills in lyrics and then never bothers to replace them. This really annoys me to no end, but taken into consideration, this is pretty much a banger to me. So I really like this. And I like the video. It's fun. He's in the subway between the people, he's singing. The Oklahoma line, which he says he should have replaced, but he never did. to me, it's interesting because I always get sort of like, I don't know if this is weird or not, but I'm thinking of it's called The Wizard of Oz, right? So isn't she from Oklahoma? Dorothy, right?
No, I think isn't she from Kansas?
Yeah. Well, let's find out.
I'm pretty sure Dorothy's from Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. Or I don't think it's. I don't think it is. I could be wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's sort of like the connotation. Yeah, Kansas. Oh, yeah. Oklahoma is another state, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, sort of like, well, the thing to me is like sort of like going away from home and saying like, oh, it's so different here, and at home it was never like this. So sort of like, to me, that line, which he wanted to replace, is actually sort of like poetic and sort of like a strange little thing in the middle of this weird sex song. so
yeah.
so I think it's just something interesting is happening in this song. And then there's this remix with like slightly different instrumentation or effects on the instrumentation, which I actually prefer, which he didn't release on the singles box, unfortunately, and which isn't available on any like CD or digital version. So I got like the vinyl single, fine. But yeah, this is I think a great choice as well as a single. I'm beginning side A. I'm still on board. Side B, I mean. Side A was totally fine to me, and side B starts off really strong. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those songs where, you know, when you have certain kind of food and you're like, oh, I know this is bad for me, but I really like it.
Yeah,
This
like
is,
eating a whole bag of Doritos. Yeah.
oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually really glad that you like this, because this has always been a real guilty pleasure of mine.
That shouldn't be guilty pleasure.
I think that
enjoy it or not.
Musically, the song is great. I know there's some really patchy and dodgy lyrics. The
Oh,
Oklahoma
very
line,
much so.
I always interpreted that as like, it's a filler line where he's just saying, because he's mentioned before like his understanding of the play Oklahoma, which is like this love story type thing, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he's basically,
sure.
it's just him saying like, oh, you know, like this love and like this, you know, all this sex we're doing. You know, Oklahoma was never like this. Like this, like really romantic. Like, you know, Oklahoma was never like this. Like this is how much
Oh, yeah,
in
and he
love
also
we
says it.
are. Yeah, I don't
Maybe
mind.
maybe we should have a secret code before we both get ready to explode.
I'm sorry. That is actually just hilarious, though. This is so funny.
That's so bad.
Proper like,
That's so
what's the
bad.
word? Not horny, but it's in the similar word. It's just like
Like,
it's just peak arousal, isn't it? Like just before they get
It
ready
is,
to
yeah.
explode.
but it's fun. This is a fun song, man. Don't
Yeah,
hate.
It's like the 80s. It's like the 80s for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Yeah. I'd much rather prefer this. Yeah.
Yeah. I also, like you, I love the music video where he goes on the London Underground.
Yeah.
He gets the Jubilee line, which is actually a great line, by the way. I would recommend it to anyone going to London. It's a good line to take.
Good.
From
Good.
South Kensington to Piccadilly Circus, that route. It's so funny as well, because I feel like some people who aren't British, they'll see the music video and they'll be like, why does everyone like look so like pissed off? And like, I'm like, because we're British. We sit on the tube and we don't interact with anyone. We just want to get to one location to another.
Made to be.
Yeah, we're
Now Paul's in the way.
unless you're a big Paul McCartney fan, you're gonna just be like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, whereas me, I would be like, oh yeah, this is awesome. But if you don't even have to hate Paul McCartney. If you're just not that bothered, you're just gonna be like, for fuck's sake, this guy's filming music video on. Like, I get why the people, but that adds to the fun of it, because it's authentic London. It's what London
it's
is
great.
really like, and I love it for that. And because of the music video, I have this. This is really sad and really tragic. But a lot of me also just doesn't care. I have this really sad ritual I have whenever I get to the tube and I get down the tube. I'll get my phone out and I'll just play Press. When I get the tube to London, I'll start playing Press.
You're a real fan. You're a real one. You definitely are.
It's so fucking sad, but I also am like,
It's amazing.
Obviously, when I'm out on the actual tube train, I don't really play it because you can't really hear it that well. But like
No.
but the walk from like some of the from like especially Waterloo. If you ever see me in Waterloo and you see me on like walking to one of the lines and I'm probably playing
You're
press.
probably playing press. Well, that's at least consistent. That's
It's
good.
incredibly
I
sad
like
and
that.
pathetic, and I don't think anyone ever knew that before. But I never really had the need to share it with anyone. Not because it's like, oh no, I don't want him to know. It's just no one would really understand it. But
No, but well, at least I do. Maybe one listener. Let us know if you do.
yeah, but yeah, that's
All right.
press nicely summarized, I think.
Yeah. Then the first co-write on side B, Pretty Little Head.
God, this is it's pretty rough, man, isn't it?
No.
Oh Jesus. Oh God, no. This is the other one where it's like you get the intro and I'm like, oh yeah, this is like some
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
We're getting into it, and and admittedly this gets stuck in my head a lot whenever I listen to it. But then we just get
Hillman.
Hillman,
Hillman.
oh, oh.
And Ursa Major.
But it just that's
Ursa Minor.
about a minute in when that kicks in. That's where the song just goes downhill because it just goes on this kind of like boring tangent, and like Paul starts adding in some vocals, and you can't. Well, on the album version, you can't really hear the vocals that well because it's like drowned out by the music. So you couldn't really understand properly what he was saying. Yeah, I think it's pretty like it's Paul trying something experimental, and I think it's just pretty rubbish. Give me Karina Corey, give me more Smoose and the Grey Goose.
No, that's exact. I was just thinking of that. I'm like, the way you like Morse Moose is the way I like Pretty Little Head. This and the remix as well on the singles, which does a lot of other freaky shit and changes up like the beat. Like I'm having fun with this one, and he wrote this as an instrumental. And the thing was, they changed instruments, right? And he went on drums. And he's let one of the others play vibes and Eric on keyboards. So he says we all switched roles to send us off in a different direction. And to me, this is like a studio jam, which they built out to this really weird experimental song. And I'm listening to it even today, and I'm like, if this would have been like David Bowie or something, people would have ate it up. Right? Because then it's, oh yeah, David Bowie with interesting lyrics about hillmen and trinkets and silk and precious stones and exotic legends. But it's Paul McCartney, so people are like, yeah, stay in your lane. No, man, this shit slaps.
No, I really disagree with that.
I think I'm really contrarian on this one, but I actually listen to this and I enjoy this song. Both versions.
I think that take of like,
and it has a cool video as well.
I just think if because
see the video?
The music video it's incredibly of its time. Like you know,
that's so respectful.
At the time, I'm sure if I was alive at the time, I would have eaten that up. So, the one thing that does irritate me about that music video, because you know you gotta say not tell, as the girl who leaves her parents' house. We need Paul to sing "She's Leaving Home" over. Oh, thanks, Paul. I wouldn't have worked that out otherwise. Like, what's that? That always annoyed me actually, because it's like, what's the fucking point?
True. But still.
But I disagree with the thing of saying, oh, if Bowie did it or whoever, because to me this is Paul trying, you know, like a Talking Heads Peter Gabriel type thing, and I feel like if and there was stuff out there like this at the time that is way better than this. If Peter Gabriel or Talking Heads did this, you'd be like, oh yeah, no, they've done way better than this. Like this is not good by anyone's standards. I don't think.
I disagree, and I listen to a lot of Talking Heads, but you know they have stuff on their albums which is definitely not better than this, or this would have fit on that album. This is perfectly fine. It's not a classic by any means, but you know, as Paul experiments go, you can do a lot worse.
I guess not really. I still think this is. Like, I genuinely think. This
I
is
knew
like,
we would disagree on this one, but today I was listening. I'm like, if I'm honest with myself, I don't hate this.
It's way too long as well. I think it just.
No, it's a vibe, man. It was. I was in traffic on the way back home. I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah, this is totally.
Yeah. No. Don't understand it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, moving on. Another co-write. Move over, Busker.
Oh, you know what? This is Paul trying like a Elvis Costello type thing, right? That's the vibe I
Yeah,
get. I really like this. Like, it's been a while.
same.
It's been a while since we've had Paul rocking out, and this is really good. And, the lyrics are well, the actual like what the song's about. There's not. It's not anything revolutionary, but there's some cool lyrics in there.
Yeah,
This is great. The
very
band I
wordy.
think sound really good on this one. I think this is like a
Band
pretty
sounds
underrated.
good. I like the chorus with the "You've got it coming, come on," with
Yeah.
the instrumentation sort of like backing up the melody line. Great song, right?
Yeah, this is one of my favorites off the album, and the band I think sound really great on here. Everyone's on great form.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
yeah. You know, I think up to this, on side two, I liked Press, and then we took a bit of a heavy hit with Pretty Little Head, but I've been restored a bit now. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I like this.
Yeah, I'm
Good
still
stuff.
here, as you noticed. Press, Pretty Little Head, Move Over Busker. I'm still having fun. This
Yeah,
is great album.
I'm noticing a theme here. Yeah. But yeah, I don't. There's not too much else to say on it. It's not like a rev. Yeah,
No,
all I'd
no.
say is it's in terms of the Paul Rockers. This is probably probably one of the most underrated ones, really.
I think so.
No
Yeah,
one ever
yeah.
talks
This
about
one
it.
is really worth. If you're not familiar, revisit this song or revisit it. It's really good. Yeah,
Right. Oh Jesus! Just looked
Angry.
at what the next track is. Can't
So
wait to
this
hear.
has Phil Collins on drums,
Can't wait for you to tell me how brilliant Angry is. But yeah,
Pete
like you said, Phil
Townshend
Collins
on
on
electric
drums,
guitar.
Pete Townsend on guitars.
Yeah.
Um, oh Jesus! I just wrote in my notes. Wow, this is terrible. This is a complete waste of Phil Collins, and I'm not even the biggest Phil Collins fan. I think as a songwriter, not really my jam. Amazing
Yeah.
musician and can write some very good lyrics, but also has made a lot of dross. Pete Townsend's incredible though, great
Yeah.
guitarist.
Well, I'm higher on Phil Collins than you are,
Yeah,
but even regarding that, Angry is like not really good. We definitely take a hit here. I think the vocal is not convincing at all. I don't like the lyrics. I don't like the whole sentiment of the song. Um, there's a single mix with horns coming in, right? It's like a horn arrangement.
yep,
Also on the singles box, it's slightly less offensive, but that word says it all. It's like if I had to choose, I would listen to sort of if I couldn't, get was couldn't be bothered to get up and skip this song on the vinyl, then just put on the version with the horns there. Then that would be slightly less grating. But yeah, this is a very long 3 minute 36. Yeah, this is not. I'm not having fun anymore now.
this is another one where I genuinely think this is one of my least favorite things he's ever put out. I think
Yeah.
it's,
Oh
I
well.
think
Yeah.
it's so dreadful. Like
Yeah.
it's so like corny. I think the seven is even worse. The seven single version is even
You
worse.
do?
The
Oh
horns are
no,
just,
no, because there's more musically. There's more going on. So it's sort of
just because
like I'm
you
more
had just
focused on the drumming, the horns, and I'm like just sort of like fading out Paul's voice. I'm like, okay, at least there's more going on for me to sort of latch on to survive the song. Just don't get me wrong, this is not a good song, but
the horns. I just think
we're talking about having to listen through it, right?
the horns are so naff on it. Like it just
No, no, I don't agree. I
what
prefer
why have we
this
got
the
this kind
single
of like
version.
almost like showgirl kind of like dun 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 like on a song that's called Angry. It
No,
feels
I get more like ska vibes from it than showgirl
right.
vibes. But
I mean, any version of
Sweet
this song I
Snow.
just think is a fucking abomination. It's so terrible.
Yeah, this they all let us down. These three musicians, this being their big collaboration, and
Yeah,
really sucks.
yeah. I
That
mean,
really sucks.
yeah. It's just a waste because Hugh Badgham basically managed to get Phil Collins in because obviously they've
Yeah,
worked together. Paul would
yeah.
keep in touch with Pete from the Rockestra days,
God.
um, and he came up with Angry and he for some reason was like, oh yeah, I can really imagine Pete Townsend playing this. I'm like, what? Where? And then you wouldn't even know unless you read into it. There's nothing Townsend distinctive about it.
Yeah, no.
Waste of everyone's time. This is
Big waste, big waste.
pure awfulness.
this could have, one of the better B-sides could have replaced this. But anyway,
Hell yeah.
yeah. Final track on the album,
Yeah, however absurd.
however absurd. Yeah.
You know,
How are you on this one?
yeah, I'm gonna go into this one. So, I I see what Paul's doing. You know, big
Yeah.
epic closer. You know, big like George Martin esque like strings and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
This falls so flat for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is pretty rubbish, I think. And
Yeah.
do you know what? Do you know what I think? I was thinking about this the other day because there's loads of Paul songs that we love that have weird, wacky lyrics. You know, My Salamander, Sleeping on a Willow, Leaping
Sure.
Armadillo. So I was trying to work out. I was like, why does this not land
Sure.
for me?
Monkberry Moon Delight, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, yeah, great shout. And
Yeah.
so I was trying to work out in my brain why is this not hitting for me? Why is this? And do you know what it is? It's the vocal delivery.
Yeah, and he's into, because this doesn't, when on Off the Ground or later he tries it again with weird lyrics. He lost it somewhere. There's a certain point, I think mid 70s or late 70s, where it's sort of like switched over, and you're like, no man, yeah, it's not yours anymore. You can't do this.
Yeah, I think it's more just I think I don't know what the general consensus is on this, but I just think the vocal's really bad. It just sounds really. He sounds like he's struggling. It sounds like his voice sounds pretty like raspy and like.
Yeah,
rough.
well, there's a sort of effect on it. So I think
I
it's a
don't
sort
like
of
it.
on purpose to make it interesting. But that's the thing. Once you use your production, and that's, on some songs on this album, that's the issue to me, is if there's not enough song there, and you use like futuristic production and synthesizers, or if they distract from rewriting a lyric and making it better, like in the case of Press, and you're obsessed with your whatever synthesizers, then it's detrimental to the song. And I think this is a great example of that, because there's like small bits with that, like the chorus, the however absurd it may seem, with the dum, 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 that's okay to me. And then this bridge, which goes with the I couldn't say the words wouldn't get my feelings through. It has sort of like a chord sequence which I dig. I'm like, damn it, there was something in here, but you fucked it up. And then the orchestration goes like you described, like George Martin style towards the end. And I never really listened through to the end, because I sort of like turned it off straight away after the first two lines, because it's really horrible. The start is so bad. But then having to listen to it, just out of interest and also for the episode, I'm like, in the end bit, there are also bits with the horns coming in and sort of like, I'm like, you could have done something here, but you messed up, dude. So it's a shame. It's like, I don't hate the song per se. Like Angry is sort of like really, really bad, but this is not what I was looking for to close the album out with. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
to
is
me,
sort of like a real drop off. Like, to me, the last two songs, I'm like, shit, you were so close.
Yeah, and just I mean, I like custom made dinosaurs. What can I say? I like.
Oh, that irks me, that line. I'm like, he did custom made. I'm like, okay, where are we going? Dinosaurs. I'm like, you're trying to be interesting. Fuck you.
No, I kind of like it. I'm okay with. I like custom made dinosaurs.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a poor song, and then
Very poor.
I think we'll continue, because if you have the CD of it, I don't, but a lot of you may have the CD of Press to Play. You get these 3 extra bonus tracks.
Yeah, I do, but I do want to know, because he left them off the album, right? So
Yeah.
just I really want to just cap the album and then continue on like for the CD version, because this is my annoyance with Press, because I like this album, as you've noticed. I'm like sort of, there's just something in this which is, it's not his best music. It's not, but I think it's just fun. It's a different listen, and not in a way to be interesting, but there's really something in there which speaks to me. And I'm like, if you'd have replaced, these last two with the tracks we're going to discuss right now, right? And maybe something on side A as well, or maybe just Pretty Little Head would have been like a nice B-side to me. Yeah, replace Pretty Little Head and Angry and However Absurd with the next 3 tracks. Then we're talking, man. That could have been an album. I'm really, don't you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the next three songs we're going to talk about, with the exception of like Stranglehold and Only Love Remains, like
Yeah.
I think all these three songs like trump everything else. And some
Yeah,
of
well,
those songs,
I'm not there, but definitely they would have added to the
I
album
just think
in
a
a
lot
big
of
way.
these three songs and Only Love Remains, Stranglehold, those would be like if
It's your
those,
favorite.
those are the five like
Yeah,
easy.
yeah, yeah.
I just and then like I said, I really enjoy Move Over Busker. That's great, and
Yeah.
Press
Well,
is
there you
fun.
go. So that's sort of like with press to play. Also, to me, it's sort of like the promise of what the album could have been. I have this bootleg, right?
Nice, nice.
You see, so this is like an anthology sort of type thing of 1984 to 1987. So it's 9 CDs and 5 DVDs, all about this period, as you can
Nice.
tell. So it has all the remixes on it. It has, it goes up a bit further with all the best and Once Upon a Long Ago. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's really well done. And, if people can get their hands on something like this, the whole Return to Pepperland is in there, everything.
Oh, cool.
But, yeah, to me, speaking on like the first period, which we're discussing right now with Press, it really opened up the album to me as well. So I was just, discussing this with you. I'm thinking like this is probably another reason why I have a real soft spot for this album, because I really dove into what it could have been and what else he produced around the period. And I'm like, yeah, this is maybe one of his most underrated periods. And seeing as we've excavated most of the other stuff, or there've been deluxe editions and stuff like that, and I'm like, there was something here, but he never really revisited it, and it doesn't have a really big critical standing. Well, anyway, I digress, but I thought I'd show the people watching our podcast, what else there's available. So if you can get your hands on this, it's really a big recommend.
Awesome.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, the bonus tracks, the B-sides.
Yeah, yeah. So
Let's
first off,
dig
we've
in.
got Right Away, which is the B-side to Pretty Little Head. Carlos Alomar is the guitarist. He did a lot of stuff with Bowie.
Yeah,
So
he's on a couple of the other tracks as well, right?
Yeah, he does the lead guitar on that. So actually, interestingly, there's an interesting little anecdote that I found interesting with this one. So he says, I remember I put down 3 different solo sections on that song, but at the end of the day, Paul and the engineer had the ability to flesh them together and create new solos. When I asked if I could listen to them, some of the solos I heard were not the same solo. I know they had taken a little bit from one solo, another bit from another, and it worked fine for me. That's awesome, by the way.
So they comped they do this with vocals with singers, right? It's called
Yeah.
comping. So that's really cool. That's a very creative way to sort of like, yeah, that's nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
Love this one. I just it's so fun, and like the guitar playing's awesome.
Yeah,
And it's
the beat, sort of like the rhythm box or whatever the beat is.
yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. This is, I mean, I think this is probably, I think, the weakest of the 3 bonus tracks, but I still absolutely love this. So that just says all you need to know. For me.
Yeah.
Like, I like the, it's a simple bit of wordplay, but he takes like right away, like writing,
Yeah.
and like you got to do it right away, like you got to do it right now. Just this is awesome, Paul.
Yeah, I think maybe on account of like the Cinderella fella line is that's annoying, but yeah, no, this is a great song. I'm totally with you on this one. This is really cool and could have fit on the album really well. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's 3 minutes.
Exactly.
It's a great little pop song, and the delivery of those lines, because he does it again with the Margarita. I can think of nothing sweeter, but he says it with like a wink, So I'm like, all right, Paul, that's of course you did.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Great.
No, I'm
track.
totally with you. This is a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then following that we have "It's Not True," B-side
Yeah.
to Press, with the premise basically be Paul sticking up for Linda, and it's one of the defiant Paul songs, and to me it's a roaring success. I love this one. That Paul has a lot of feel behind it. Like you can tell he's like he's singing professionally, and like it's quite a glamorous track, but you can tell he's pissed off as well. Like, he gets the balance right. He's not like fucking angry, right, where he phones it in.
No.
It's controlled defiance and anger.
Yeah.
Love this one.
Lyrically strong. I like they have they never heard of jealousy, and then if she helps me write the melody, that's nice. And then when the second time it's if she helps me make the memories. So that's also really sweet, man.
Yeah.
Come on, Paul. There you go. That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Paul applying like, something from his life, but I feel like it's probably applicable to a lot of other people's lives as well.
Sure, sure. No, this is a great one, and it's really long. It's almost 6 minutes, but it doesn't feel like it. It has this great outro which builds and builds, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not true, and it's musically it becomes interesting, but not just for music's sake, but really adding to the song and the message, and really building on the it's not true, repeating his conviction. Yeah, I'm totally with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is also anger that Paul has been probably holding back since the late '60s as well. So for him to
Totally,
finally
yeah.
then let it all out in 1986, nearly 20 years
Yeah,
later, I'm like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you go, Paul. Come on, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Love it.
No, really, really great song. Yeah, again, just why is this not on the album?
Yeah,
This could have been
so
such a good closer, right? If you swap this as the album closer with this outro
yeah.
instead of however absurd. My guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm in complete agreement with you on it. I think this is, yeah, frustrating
Well,
that it's
all right.
kind of hidden away. But yeah. And then we've got
Last one, tough on a tightrope.
Tough on a Tightrope, B-side to Only Love Remains. Yeah, this is my favorite of all the
Oh yeah.
of all the bonus material.
Yeah, sure, sure.
I love the kind of circusy vibe at the start. Again, fits
Yeah.
thematically with the idea of it being tough on a tightrope.
Yeah.
I think
Oh
again
yeah.
there's
Nice.
there's there's some there's a section of lyrics that I absolutely love here.
Which part?
I'm often accused of giving too little. It's got me confused. I'm split down the middle. Conflicting reviews of our life coming in. It's tough on a tightrope.
Oh yeah.
Love that, and I love the orchestration around it. It really, it's just music porn basically.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's really good.
And because it's about Paul and Linda, and their
Yeah.
kind of relationship, throughout the years. I like as well how kind of towards the end of the song, Linda's vocal comes in. That adds a nice
Yeah.
effect to it as well. Like her,
Yeah.
also being like, yeah, they're like they have tough times, but they're always there for each other and they're backing each other up. And
Yeah. Yeah.
even though they have problems, like they'll always, yeah, it's just really nice. I love this one a lot. I think this is one
It's
of
really
my,
nice.
like, yeah, this is. I might even like this more than Stranglehold. I'm not sure, but
I can imagine.
it's up there.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really, really good.
It's really sweet. It's interesting that she's not very prevalent on this album. I mean, she's in a lot of songs, but she's mixed really down, and it's not like on Ram or other or like Wings albums where you really hear Linda, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But she is on the cover, right? There's this iconic black and white photograph. So this song, it's given it's not on the original LP, but yeah, her presence is interesting. I think the way she's present on this album and in the songs. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. And then we've got not part of the bonus material, but a B-side, and then also just a couple of more tracks, and then we'll wrap up. But another B-side that is to me utterly forgettable in Hang Glide.
oh yeah, this is an instrumental, right?
Yeah, exactly right. You'd forgotten it even existed.
Yeah,
Just Paul and
yeah.
Eric on this.
No, I
one.
did listen to it, but it's totally it's fine. It's
5-minute filler. I
5 minutes.
there's been so many times where I come across Hang Glide and I'm like, how does this go
Yeah.
again? Then I listen to it, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that one. Well, that's exactly how I felt today. Yeah.
And that's
I was
honestly
like, oh yeah,
like,
hang
really
glide.
not,
Need to give that a spin before we
yeah,
record.
There's really not a lot to talk about on Hang Glide.
No,
That's it.
it's fine.
And then we touched on the song in the last episode with the same title as this, but they're different songs, which is simple as that.
Yeah,
So that's released November 24th, 1986.
from the Anti-Heroin Project, right?
Yeah, it's a live-in world. It's basically just the McCartneys, so Paul, Linda, James, Mary, Stella on vocals.
Yeah,
I don't go back to it very often, but nice song for a good cause.
It's fine. It's a fine groove. This his vocal on the line, and if you love someone, everybody. If you love your life, everybody will love you too. Is like a great vocal delivery. But then today I was concentrating on the lyrics, and I'm like, oh, they're so literal and so corny. Then in that way, that sort of like I was like, well, but of course, whatever. It's fine. It's for a good cause, and he raised money for anti-heroin project.
Exactly. And then
Good on you, Paul.
yeah, exactly. And then the final track I want to talk about, because it's unfortunately was never released, at least not by Paul anyway. We get Yvonne's the One. Original working
I think
title
their last go
Yvonne.
right. Yeah.
Later used on the 1995 album Mirror Mirror, which is a 10cc album. With Paul on rhythm guitar. So, I mean, first off, I just want to say the 10cc version is really fucking naff. Like, it's
really weird.
Don't like
Not
it.
at all. This happens with a Costello co-write as well on Costello's album. I'm like, this is not why, it's just such a shame.
But he basically just reggaes it up. And the story is quite interesting. So, like, when Eric Stewart spoke in 2018, he basically said about the song, that was a song I took from a postcard that I got from Nick Mason of Pink Floyd. It had the line, when I first saw Yvonne, volcanoes exploded. And I showed it to Paul, and we wrote that. Paul's a perceptive guy. He wanted a laid-back ballad, but I suggested we do it in a more reggae way. He did it in a smoother ballad style, but I always wanted to do it in a reggae version, so I did it on my album. I wish it were more reggae, more Bob Marley. The Jamaican rhythm would suit the words. Ugh, no, I don't agree with that, Eric. I think you're...
No, it's a shame. And again, so the bootleg version, or like the McCartney version, it does sort of, to me, sounds sort of unfinished, or it drags a bit or something. Like, there is something there. It's good, but it's not like on the other hand, I don't really revisit it very often. Which, you can easily call it up if it's such a great song. You just spin it wherever, if it's on YouTube or whatnot. But it doesn't seem to really catch me. And so I listen to it and I'm like, oh yeah, it's really good. But then I sort of never think about it again. I don't know. How's that for you?
Admittedly, I hadn't listened to it in a while, but from listening to it, this McCartney version, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is really good actually. I should give this more attention. I think I will now, that since I just think this is really good. And then I hear some of the other stuff on Press to Play, and I'm like, I would have much rather have had Yvonne on Press to Play than fucking Hillmen and
the Hillmen. Come on,
Paul getting
leave my Hillmen alone,
or
Mark.
However absurd,
however absurd it is. Yeah,
but I digress. So very quickly, do you want to hear my custom my restructuring of Press to Play?
Oh yeah, sure.
There's a couple of different ways we can approach this. So obviously I've done it on Spotify. So, and obviously Yvonne is not on Spotify. Well, the Paul McCartney version is, and I wouldn't subject people to the Eric Stewart version. So this is the first version that I've got. So obviously I couldn't, because I had to include a song that I'm not so keen on in the Press to Play sequence because I don't have Yvonne. So we got track 1, Stranglehold. Track 2, Talk More Talk. I think that's a nice kind of juxtaposition. Then we go on a nice little acoustic kind of vibe here with Right Away and Footprints. And then Only Love Remains closes side 1.
Right Away, Footprints. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah.
And then side 2 kicks off with It's Not True. I like that.
Right.
And then Press.
As an opener. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just something to just kickstart. I contemplated keeping Press as start of side 2, but I was like, no, It's Not True. Just something a bit more punchy. Yeah. So then It's Not True, Press. And then I've gone a little bit technical here because it was recorded around this time, and just we need something a bit different because we don't have Pretty Little Heads. We need something that's maybe also a bit wacky, but a lot better. I've gone Blue Sway, Richard Niles orchestration.
Oh,
fits perfectly on the.
That's really good. Yeah, I can see that.
Move Over Busker, and then Tough on a Tightrope.
All right.
But but then if we're adding, what I would do is if I was adding Yvonne, I would have basically the same track listing, but you put Right Away as track 2, and then put Yvonne between Right Away and Footprints, so it'd be track 3. So you have I like the acoustic kind of vibe that we go. We have Stranglehold, then we go on a little acoustic vibe, and then we go Only Love Remains.
Exactly. No, that's a great sequence. I think that's really good.
No Hillmen, unfortunately, but
That's I'll have to learn to live without it then.
You can have it as your B-side if you want.
Yeah, well, I think that would have been to me, because I like the album, I would keep more of the flow of the album intact, and I would just, to me, it's like he front loaded it, with the good stuff, and then it's like, how do we fill out side B, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I would come in with replacing most of the songs with the singles we just, or the B-sides we just discussed. Yeah. And that to me would be, probably the best way to restructure it. With It's Not True, with the epic outro, that would definitely be my 10th track, like the final track.
Yeah, I see the vision. I contemplated, but I also just thought tough on the tightrope to me. I think is that it was between the. I kind of wanted to have It's Not True as either a starter or a closer, and I was
I can see that.
Yeah,
great, nice little restructuring. So just put the link. If it's public, just put the link in the show notes.
I will.
You can follow it.
I'll
make my version for Apple Music because I don't have Spotify. So then people can choose.
Yeah, exactly. Feel free.
Yeah.
And then I think just to put a bow quickly on Press to Play, and then we'll wrap up. I think this album is. So I said Broadstreet was around a 5.
Yeah.
And I think Press to Play is like a 5.5, 6 kind of vibe.
Dude.
Yeah, it's to me it's just all over the place, as you can tell. From Because there's some songs I'm really digging. There's some songs I think are pretty meh. There's also songs I really don't like. This album, it plays with my emotions. It's all over the place, and I think the album's a bit all over the place. And I think it's one of Paul's weakest albums. Unfortunately, it's probably it's in the bottom 5.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame. Yeah, no. Well, as you can tell, I'm not with you on this one. There are definitely albums that I listen to less often, and which I find less agreeable than this album. And I think there are definitely some gems on here, and some stuff worth discovering for the Paul fan. So we'll just have to agree to disagree on this one. But I had a lot of fun with this, and I really liked revisiting it for this episode. And so that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think it's nice. It's nice to actually kind of is this the first time we've like really kind of disagreed on now? Because there've been times where maybe you like something a little bit more than I do, or vice versa, and it's kind of, but we're kind of like still like singing.
This would be definitely more like a 7.5 to me. So that's a big difference with your. I think that's like 2 full points.
Yeah, we're more kind of our opinions are much more different, I think, than with anything we've spoken to up to this point. So that's nice. I kind of like that.
Yeah, usually we're closer together, and I don't think we've disagreed mostly on individual tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe Wings at the Speed of Sound. How were you on that one?
No, we were on a similar page. It was mainly just we completely disagree on Beware My Love.
Oh yeah, so again, individual track.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Give My Regards. Yeah, that's maybe I'm probably a bit more down on that than you.
Yeah, you hate it more than I do, but I still think
I really do hate it.
Your hatred is still. I hear it and I'm like,
my hatred is strong.
This is pretty justified though. I'm like, I get it. Like it's.
That's true.
Yeah, I get it. But
well, thanks.
I think that's about it. I think before we go, I'll quickly plug.
Great, man. Fun episode. A lot of fun this one.
Yeah, I loved it.
I liked it.
If you, our lovely listener, want to email us, tell us we're great, tell us we're shit, tell us we're something in between, you can email us at fansacrossthewaterpod@outlook.com. On Twitter, we are at FATW Podcast. And on Instagram, we are Fans Across the Water Pod. And on Blue Sky, we are FATW Pod. And that's it for us. Thank you for listening to this interesting, I guess, era of
very definitely.
Interesting era. Thank you for listening, everyone. And Marnix, you have anything you want to say before we go?
No, man. Thanks for listening, and looking forward to the next one. See you soon.
Awesome. And in the next episode, we will be discussing Return to Pepperland and Senova SSSR. There you go. A nice bit of Russian for you.
Very smooth.
Thank you. And we'll see you
Cheers.
in the next episode. Take care.
Our theme music is Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey, written by Paul and Linda McCartney, as realized by Marnix Wesselink.